What is your American dream?
My American dream is we all get along and love each other.
My American dream is for my grandchildren to have all the opportunity that they should have, fulfill their own dreams, and be fully American citizens.
My American dream is peace, humanity, and justice for all.
My American dream is for people of all faiths, colors, religions to come together and to rebuild a system so that it works for everyone.
We'll all come together and become the democracy that we really are, and the strong, caring people that we are.
My American dream is no poverty, that young black men shouldn't get shot.
My American dream is that we can be a wonderful, colorful, diverse America, that we just all love each other and accept each other as we are.
My American dream is that every single American, every single person on earth is treated with the same respect and dignity afforded to everybody. Every single human on this planet should be treated with love and compassion.
We continue to aspire to what I think we can be as a country, which is what the Statue of Liberty says we are. It's just a welcoming country that's a democracy.
My American dream is a nation of immigrants that loves each other without any barriers of color, race, or class.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Hello, everybody! Happy Monday and happy Veterans Day! Today is a very important holiday that is celebrated in the United States of America to salute all the men and women of the U.S. military who work so hard and sacrifice so much, including their lives, to keep this great country of ours safe. So thank you for all you do. And a special shout out to the military veterans who have appeared on our show. Hector Baraja and Marco Chavez, who sadly were deported once they served the country, but now they are back in America, thank goodness. And to our military veteran, Miguel Perez, who we're still hoping will come home soon. Thank you for all your service, Miguel. And to Alejandro Juarez, who also was recently deported to Mexico and has been married to a U.S. Marine. They have 2 American-born children together, and we hope Alejandro comes back home very soon, too. But to all of you out there, for all of your service, thank you from Brad and the Brad Show Live team. Anyway, did you miss the last episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Neha Mahajan, who hosts and produces Center Stage, which is a talk show that airs on TV Asia, appeared. She's an Indian-born married mother of 2 who is on an H-4 EAD program that allows spouses of H-1B guest workers to hold jobs. And now Donald Trump is saying he wants to take those visas away. So Neha is now working to make sure that the H-4 EAD program does not get canceled. So anyway, the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad, Bernstein, and Belgium Kim. Here we go. Woohoo!
Welcome, everybody. Happy Veterans Day, if in fact you're a veteran or you're a family member of a veteran. It is Monday, November 12th, 2018. I can't believe 2018 went by so fast. You think about it. You know, it's like we were just celebrating Groundhog's Day. What, like yesterday?
About 6 months ago, but it doesn't feel that way.
Okay, it was even more than 6 months ago we were celebrating Groundhog's Day.
That's right.
Okay, we were celebrating Groundhog's Day 9 months ago, Belgium, Kim.
Oh,
it was
my
more than 9 months
God.
ago that we were celebrating Groundhog's Day.
God, that's crazy.
We met Groundhog Sam 9 months ago. I feel I've only known him like from yesterday, but I guess We've known Sam for a while now.
Well, Sam feels like he's known you for years,
yeah,
Brad.
he does. Sam, I don't know. He was. I don't know if he was on vacation mode this weekend. He seemed a little chill today. What do you think?
I mean, he's a chill guy every once in a while.
He's usually crazy.
When we don't feed him pretzels for like multiple days at a time.
Well, I noticed we had no Skittles also, so he was not on a sugar high like he usually is.
Brad has not gone a day without mentioning Skittles in the last week.
Well, I don't know. For what show was it that we had all these Skittles? Oh, it's for the Halloween wine tasting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We had 10,000 pounds of Skittles. And I'm like
did.
all excited to come to the office every day, get some Skittles. And within 3 days, all gone.
Brad, there's like a 60-person hungry office who heard there was a stash of candy somewhere.
Exactly.
You think I'm surprised it lasted more than a day, honestly.
So how was your birthday, Belgium Kim, this weekend that I did not attend?
I'll tell you when I'm done recovering,
Really?
Brad. I'm still in recovery mode.
Were you drunk?
A little, yeah.
You were a little drunk.
Yeah,
Which day were you a little drunk?
Friday night.
Friday night.
Friday night.
What happened? What was the most embarrassing that happened Friday night on your birthday?
Oh man, nothing
embarrassing.
Although I will say, and this wasn't embarrassing, but we had dinner, and a person who was at the dinner table started started.
Is this a person that I know?
Yes.
Is this a person I know?
Well, it's the significant other of a person that you know. And
oh gosh.
So I don't know. You've met her.
Does this person like fish?
I don't know.
Like to take care of fish?
Oh, no.
No, this person does not like to take care of fish.
No, that was not him.
Not him.
That would be terrible.
This was not the owner of Bradfish Live Fish.
Well, live fish is
dead now. Dead fish.
Suggestive.
Okay, so what did this person do anyway?
No, they started like a circle of what do we love about Kim, like one by one going around, which is delightful.
That was nice.
Which is very nice. However, there were people there who were plus ones, and it was like, okay, and now this person. So like plus ones who had met me maybe once or twice.
Like,
were
I like celebrating Kim's birthday. That's about all they can say, right?
Like, okay, let's simmer down. This is a bit
calm down.
much. This is a bit much.
Exactly.
But no, it was delightful. I had an amazing birthday. It was so much fun.
Wonderful.
It was
and you are now, do you like to announce your age? Or
I don't care.
Are you embarrassed about your age?
Not at all. I'm 27 years old.
27 years old.
That's it.
Wow. So what year were you born?
91, Brad. I'm sorry to say. I apologize.
Do you know where
already.
I was in 1991?
Graduating law school.
No, I wasn't graduating law school. I'm not that old.
But you were
I was
close.
in law school.
Yeah,
I was in law school learning what I do here.
Yeah.
And Belgium Kid was born.
But that's when you say you have a lifetime of experience, Brad. It's
I have Belgium Kids. That's very true. I have your entire lifetime of experience.
Yeah.
It's a very good marketing.
It's a good tagline,
yes.
exactly.
Brad Bernstein has at least my lifetime of experience.
Right.
Since 1991 he went to law school and I was born in 1991.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to frame it.
All right, so we got to say hello to Carol Anderson. Afzal A, what's happening? Afzal, I called your boss. Tell him to call me back. Who else? Malquezens Brown, what's going on? Alicia Allen. Jean Love, calling out the boss.
Wow,
immediately calling out the boss.
No one is safe on Bradshaw
There
Live.
is nobody. There is nobody. Sunita Bakken, Lisa Bling Rose, Willie Williams, Deion Watson, Christy Consali, Tamika Nelson, CC Mitchell, Malia Lobin Martin, Lisa Bling Rose, what's going on? I wonder if people worked today or they were off today. Kiara Smith. Andreen Spence, Melia Dale, Dane, welcome, I said already, Christy Consali, and Dennis, who's that, Dennis Yu?
Dennis Yu?
Dennis Yu?
Yeah.
And anybody else? Ma Dukes, Marjorie Thompson, Asset Lindo, Smiley Smith, Denisha Castillo, how are you? Kennedy Roy, and Natoy Dixon, and maybe I missed a few on the way, but we have a lot to cover today on Veterans Day. Before we get to our schmooze on Veterans Day, and by the way, I just want to talk about Veterans Day for one thing before we get to a schmooze.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was in Starbucks today.
Yeah.
Was I at Starbucks? Yes. No, it was yesterday.
Okay.
I was in Starbucks yesterday, and I ordered a drink.
Yeah.
And the barrister, or the person at the
barista?
says to me, I wonder why, she was talking to the other barista in the, why is it so slow today? Is today a holiday or something? And I said, well, they're having a Veterans Day parade on Fifth Avenue. Maybe that's why you're a little slow today. She goes, but isn't Veterans Day tomorrow? I go, yeah, but they're celebrating it today. And she goes, don't we celebrate Veterans Day in May? I go, no, that's Memorial Day. And so many people get it wrong. Veterans Day is for people who are alive. You can celebrate veterans who passed, but it's really for people who are alive, who served in our military. We're honoring them. Memorial Day, as the term would sound, this is how I'm explaining it to the barista at Starbucks.
Wait, you're giving the barista a whole
schmooze. I gave her, I said, you know what? I happen to have this card right here in my hand. Let me tell you what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. And I pulled it out of my pocket, and I said, Veterans Day is different. And she goes, what is this branch of live? I said, don't worry about what this branch of live is. I just happen to have all the information right here. And Veterans Day is for people who are alive.
Yeah.
Memorial Day is generally for people who got killed in combat, people who died. That is the big difference. We're both celebrating people who served our military.
You are the only human in the world who carries around your cards.
I carry around cards because you never know when you're going to need.
And look,
you never know when you're going to need certain information.
And you sounded like a learned individual.
I did sound like a learned individual. I'm like, let me just take out my notes here. Like the other day, I was walking down the street and I had my cards from Halloween. I did.
After the fact?
After the fact.
Got it. Okay.
Yes, and there were some ghosts that were walking down the street.
As ghosts do.
As ghosts do, because it was Halloween.
Right.
And I said, do you need an introduction? Are you lonely? Because there's a woman who's having relationships with ghosts. And I said, I took out my card and gave all the information.
And I made a shidduch.
I made a shidduch between the ghost. You know what a shidduch is?
Is that like a matchup?
It's a matchup. It's like what the matchmaker does. The matchmaker makes a shidduch.
A shidduch.
A shidduch, not a shit.
I was going to say that sounds like every date I've ever been on.
Right, it's a shit-ach.
A shit-ach.
So it's kind of like when you take a shit and you go, ugh.
or you go on a shitty date and then go, ugh.
Right, but I guess that's how the term came. Right, a shit-ach.
Totally, I will never forget that, Brad.
You make a shit-ach. Cam, one day I'm going to make a shit-ach with you. I'm going to set you up with somebody.
Are you?
It's just good. That means I'm going to set you up with somebody.
But are you going to have, do you have a good person to set me up with that you've been holding out on me with?
Yes. There's a guy. 1 second.
Oh no! He's looking through his cards. This is never a good idea.
Let's see. Well, yeah. There's and further down in the stories.
Yeah.
Yep. There's the man in China who swallowed a spoon, but we'll talk about him later.
Perfect.
We're in touch with him.
He sounds like my kind of man.
We are in touch with him.
I love a man who can swallow a
spoon.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's not really a talent that you would want a man to have, but perhaps maybe a man who's dating you would want you to have that talent.
And maybe I want a man to have that talent. Maybe that we just explained why my Tinder is having low success these days.
Maybe you do want a man to have that talent.
Yeah, because it says wanted spoon swallower,
well, yes.
And obviously no one's right swiping me.
Swallow a spoon, you can swallow lots of things.
No.
But this is not Hump Day Wednesday. So.
There was
all right. Wet sugar there, right?
Wet sugar.
So meanwhile, we got to do a share game.
We do have to do a share game.
Where are we at with our shares?
Listen, Brad, so far, because we have not yet announced the share game and people don't share just out of the goodness of their hearts.
So how many shares?
We have 19 shares.
All right. I think we should just give away money.
You just want to make it rain like that
on
someone?
Money. What is it when you go like this?
That is making it rain.
Right. But
That's
I don't have any money in my hand, but I will.
But everybody knows.
If we get to 800 shares, I will.
Ooh.
No, that's too easy.
800,
not when I have to make it rain.
I was going to say, they've
right?
done. How much are we making it rain? Like, are you going to make it rain $12, Brad? Maybe if you keep doing money will materialize. This is why I've been doing this for days, you guys. Days.
Well, I wasn't making it rain. I was just clapping. I was just,
okay.
Yeah. We're gonna,
That's right.
But maybe it should be just slower.
Well, it depends how much you're making it rain, Brad.
Maybe we should just make it drizzle.
right. If it's a drizzle, it's got to go slow to kind of pace it out.
Or should it be like a typhoon?
I mean,
A typhoon of
for
money.
Brad Squad.
If it's a typhoon of money, you just go like this, whoosh, you know.
Ooh, and it's like,
and then it all just comes down.
Oh, man.
All right, this is what we're going to do. We're at 23 shares right now, and we need to get to 900 shares.
900 shares. And last time, I will say, you were very gracious and you bumped it down.
Correct.
So
I am
feel like,
not for when I'm making it rain.
Exactly. So I feel like they need to step up their game.
Not for when I'm
today.
making it rain.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is the deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a gift certificate
Okay.
of $250.
Damn! To where?
Law offices of Spar and Bernstein. So yes, a gift certificate.
Oh my God, Brad.
Of $250 to the law offices of Spar and Bernstein.
Does your accountant ever call you to yell at you after he watches the show?
What?
Because you are giving away some amazing,
giving away money,
like some
yes.
big prizes.
A gift certificate of $250 to the law offices of Spar and Bernstein to one lucky winner. Oh, I wanted to spin the wheel.
You want to spin the wheel?
Yeah, why don't we change it? Because I wanted to spin the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how are we going to put all those people's names on a wheel?
Huh.
It's only got 10. It's only got
5
room for 10. Yeah.
5.
Yeah, it's 5 different colors, or we could put 10 different names.
All right, so this is what we're going to do.
Uh-oh.
Each color
Yeah.
is going to have a different dollar amount of gift certificates. Okay. Of gift certificates. It'll be 50.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
150. No, we should start higher. 100.
Yeah.
150.
Yeah.
200, 250, and $300. So each color will have a different amount to it. And tomorrow, what we will do is we will spin the wheel.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll draw out of the drum.
And then we'll draw out of the drum.
All the machines combined.
The machines combined, correct.
Oh, I like this.
So if you want, now some people may say, well, I don't need a gift certificate to Spar and Bernstein. Well, it's transferable. You can sell it to somebody for cold, hard cash. Right?
And you would be able to make just under the value.
Just under the value, right.
Right. So
like, if it's like
one.
$300, you could probably sell it for $200.
Right.
And it's
easy.
a win-win for everybody.
Man, even $250.
The only one who doesn't win is me.
That's true. You lose every time.
I lose every time.
But you get to help people, so there's a win.
Correct. So this is the story. Okay, we hit 900 shares.
900.
900 shares, and I'm going to spin the wheel. There's going to be different gift certificates from $50 to $300 to the law offices of Spar and Bernstein. You can use it for any case that's ongoing. You can use it for a consultation. You can use it towards legal fees. Whatever you want, it's my gift to you.
Wow.
Basically giving you a gift. Freebie. Okay?
That's amazing.
If we simultaneously get to 120 views on YouTube, not only if we do it twice, okay, we get to 120 views on YouTube, I will also give away, we'll spin the wheel twice.
Wow.
If we get to 120 views on YouTube plus 900 shares on Facebook, you get an extra bonus because we did it on both. We will spin the wheel 3 times.
What?
So I may give away totally $900 in legal fees.
You're going to give away 900.
Potentially.
You could potentially. I mean, I'm going to say you could because I'm giving Brad Squad the benefit of the doubt that they're definitely going to hit this.
So Brad Squad, in the immortal words of Lisa Bling Rose, let me light up your Christmas. Okay? How many times do you watch a show and all you got to do is sit on your tuchus and take your thumb and share it to a friend and make money? Or certainly at least get some credits towards legal fees.
I feel like it's unheard of.
Unheard of.
I watch shows all weekend long, Brad, and I didn't win not $1. I didn't even have the chance to win a single dollar.
And by the way, Tamika Nelson wants to know where Yo-Yo is. He was so upset that I was doing this. He boycotted the show today.
I can't.
He says he can't give away this amount of money. He can't do it. He walked out
in a tizzy.
He walked out and protested. He said he'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
He says
when you get some sense back.
That's right. Exactly. He says I'll be here to give the money away, but I can't watch it just burn away, make it rain like that.
That's more dollars than cents,
That's
Brad.
right.
That's more dollars than cents.
That's right. So, Belgium Kim.
Yeah.
Before we get into our schmooze, why don't you tell everybody what they're going to get?
Brad Squad, we just told you what you're going to get if we get to 900 shares. That's clicking that little share button and sharing it on your timeline, your groups to which you're a member of, your friends' timeline, in messages to your friends. You're going to get the chance. We get to 900 of those, you're going to get the chance to win a gift certificate anywhere from $100 to $300 tomorrow. You got to make sure to leave 2 comments when you share, though, fam, so I know you watched. On YouTube, we said 110 viewers, 120 viewers.
Why don't you tell them how to do it? It's very simple.
It's so simple, you guys. You hit that share button also on YouTube. It's going to copy the link, like, immediately. So then all you have to do is go into your WhatsApp and your text messages and just paste it and send it to a friend. Tell them, hey, this guy's answering free immigration questions. Hey, you guys are missing out on amazing content and super funny, amazing, hilarious people. That's how you get people to watch, and that's how you share, fam.
There you got it. There you have it.
There we've got
it. And by the way, you forgot the most important thing.
What's the most
important?
important?
If they're able to get to 120 simultaneous views on YouTube and 900 shares on Facebook, we're going to spin the wheel a third time. Potentially giving away $900 in legal fees.
You guys.
Potentially. The minimum amount of legal fees we will give away is $300.
Minimum, if they make it.
The maximum amount is $900. After we spin the wheel, if you left 2 comments during the day and we get to 900 shares or 120 views on YouTube, we will have your name in the machine after we spin the wheel and we know exactly what it is that we're going to be giving away. We will then pull out somebody's name. Lucky winner. Now, you may say, Brad, I have no problems. I'm an American citizen. You can sell it.
That's okay.
There are people out there who will buy it from you. You give them a discount off of it, right?
Yep.
You make money. They pay less money. I will honor it for sure.
Yep. You can give it to someone for Christmas.
Give it to someone. Light up Lisa Bling Rose's Christmas tree.
My God.
Right? I mean, her
God.
Christmas tree needs a light up.
And there is nothing that will light
That's
up
what she
quite
says.
like a $300 gift certificate from Spar Bernstein.
That's right.
My goodness me. Whew.
Woo!
Brad, I'm fired up.
So where are we at with sharing? We should already be at 900. I would be shocked if we were at...
I feel like we're going to be close.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do here, Kim. All right? Not only if they get to 900 shares, am I going to give them a free consultation?
What are you going to do, Brad?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now.
What are you going to do, Brad?
You got a cigar? It would be much better if I had a cigar.
Or a cane.
It is 6 on my computer. On my computer.
I love that it's
on my
backwards.
computer right now, I will tell you, it says 6:08 p.m.
Yeah.
If we get to 900 shares
by
6:38 p.m. on my computer, I will announce when it's 6:38.
That's just 30 minutes, Brad.
That's in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If they get to 900, I will give an extra spin of the wheel. Yes.
You're saying that people could have a chance of winning
for
a $1,200.
$1,200.
That took me a while to do
I'm
that.
going to tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm making myself vomit again in my mouth.
Because of the hat?
No, because I'm giving away all this money.
Because of the money? I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you should be vomiting right
I will.
now.
I will.
You
All right.
should
So Belgium Kim.
Yeah.
They got 30 minutes. Get them off their ass.
You guys.
Get them off their ass.
30 minutes. The 24 countdown clock has officially started.
Can we have a countdown clock?
Is
there a countdown clock?
Thing?
Julian, the TriCaster guy, he has to be ready for all contingencies. He knew this. He knew this was going to happen. All day long, I told him, get ready for the countdown clock.
Did you do that, Brad?
No. He's scrambling in there. He's scrambling in there.
Somebody's Googling how do you do a countdown clock.
30-minute countdown clock.
You're terrible. You're so mean.
So you know what he should do is like every he can do it manually. Like he can put up aside 30 minutes and then look at his watch and then change it to 29 minutes, 28 minutes.
What else could he possibly have to do in there?
You can be creative. He has nothing else to do. I mean, it's like
be checking his watch.
It's like autopilot on a plane. You know,
right.
You take off, you press the autopilot, you take a snooze.
Easy. They are gonna murder you, and you know we have some crazy graphics that we can show.
Oh my God! All right, so this is it. 900 shares by 6:38.
Come on, you guys.
Get you 2 consultations.
You got
no, I'm sorry, not 2. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying.
No.
Get you 2 spins of the wheel that you can get a value up to $600 in credits on legal fees at Spar and Bernstein. You can use towards existing fees, new fees, consultations, retainers, payments of past due fees, whatever you want. You can also, if we get to 120 views on YouTube, I will throw in a third one.
A third one.
If we get to 120 views on YouTube by 6:38, I'll throw in a fourth one. Spin of the wheel. I'm now going to throw in 5 spins of the wheel potentially. And potentially, if we do it together at any time, we'll throw in an extra one.
You guys.
That's $1,500 in legal fees.
So what that's saying is
Potentially.
that everybody watching on YouTube right now, and I mean every single person, there's 45 of you watching. I want every single one of you to copy the link and send it in WhatsApp or as a text message to 3 people. Just 3 people. Because if even a third of those watch, we're going to get to it.
And by the way, I see people saying, oh, my Facebook's not allowing it. YouTube allows it.
YouTube allows it?
It's YouTube. It's a free-for-all on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay? Mark Zuckerberg does not control YouTube. It's free-for-all over there. You share it to your heart's content.
Exactly.
Get all your friends to watch.
Exactly.
We love YouTube.
We love YouTube.
We are lovers of YouTube.
We do.
So we already did Veterans Day and Memorial Day with the barista. Is it the barrister? The barrister, I guess, is the
barrister
is
is
the guy
an
in London.
Australian judge,
Or I thought it was a British
an
judge.
English judge.
Yes.
Same. Yeah.
All right. And the history of Veterans Day. Okay. Meanwhile, talking about Veterans Day.
Yeah.
First of all, it was from 1919. It was from the Treaty of Versailles. I guess we should learn something here.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I have
The
no
Treaty
idea.
of Versailles was signed in June 29th, 1919, marking the official end of World War I. And this is why, if you notice, Donald Trump was in France to mark the end. It's the 100-year anniversary of the end of World War I.
Yes.
And he went there to mark the anniversary, but it was raining, so he decided not to actually mark the anniversary.
Obviously.
He marked it from his hotel room.
Obviously.
Right. But this is why we celebrate Veterans Day on this day, because this is the day in which the end of World War I.
Yeah.
And we were celebrating our war heroes. Thus Veterans Day.
Thus, yeah.
Memorial Day is a little different, which we already discussed.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump could not honor our veterans or honor the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. He sat in his hotel room because it was raining.
Right.
Didn't want to drive in the rain.
Obviously.
Because his helicopter was grounded, so they said you had to drive 2 hours to go to the spot where it was signed. And he said, I don't feel like it.
Ugh, in the rain? Oh, the humanity.
Yeah. So I'll tell you something else he didn't feel like doing, because it is Veterans Day, and he is the commander-in-chief of the U.S. military.
Right.
And he feels, very strongly about serving in the U.S. military.
He does.
Yeah, that's what he claims.
Right.
But back in 1968, when he was 22 years old, and he was getting ready to be drafted to Vietnam, something happened.
What was that?
Mysterious ailment called bone spurs.
You don't say.
Yeah, you know what bone spurs are?
I have no clue.
It's just a tight muscle in your foot. Okay. So,
Not a tight muscle.
Tight muscle in his foot. Yeah.
Oh no.
So yeah, after playing football and tennis and squash at University of Pennsylvania, and he seemed to be a big, strong, hulky guy,
Right.
with apparently to this day very big hands. He would be able to.
So
he would be able to take one person of the enemy from Vietnam and take him with his hand and just crush him.
Grab him.
Grab
right.
him.
The Hulk.
Yes. But apparently he had bone spurs, a tight muscle in his foot.
What a tough life.
A tight muscle in his foot, and as a result of that, he was not able to go to Vietnam.
Ugh.
But now he is the commander in chief.
Right. Who makes fun of POWs.
He does not have a tight muscle in his foot.
Right.
Maybe somewhere else he has some tight muscle. But
God, he's tight all over. I think, Brad.
Yes,
I would say that.
you think so? You think he's? Would you like to sleep with him?
I would. There's not enough money in the world. Not.
Do you think there's any Brad Squad member that would like to sleep with him?
I also don't think there is enough. I hold our Brad Squad to a higher standard than that. I would say that they also would not, tight foot or not.
So when he was diagnosed with the tight foot,
right? Yeah.
It changed his trajectory in life.
Obviously.
He had a high draft in Vietnam. He was going to go.
Right.
Who knows if he would have made it back? Right. What a change in the world that would have been if he didn't make it back. Instead, he was able. Yep. There he is with his big hands. He could have held that rifle. With an iron grip.
My God.
Yeah, an iron. Look at that iron grip on that rifle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it changed the trajectory of the world because he was supposed to go to Vietnam. Who knows what would have happened?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he got, John McCain got, he got captured by the Vietnam.
Right, yeah.
Okay, and he was held in jail for years.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if Trump got captured, they'd be like, after like 3 days, all right, shut up already, take him back. Take him back. We don't want him. We surrender. Take him back. Just shut him up.
We don't even need any of our people back.
Shut him up. We'll give you whatever you want. Just shut up already.
Yeah.
So, but in any event, but it changed the trajectory of course of history.
Right, yeah.
This doctor that he went to that made up obviously some fake bone spurs, because who knows what would have happened if he went to Vietnam.
Right.
Instead, at 22, he was able to take a $1 million loan in the late 1960s from his father, which is the equivalent of probably $30 or $40 million loan today.
Right.
And so he didn't, and really, start on his own without any help from anybody.
Right.
And be able to do what he has done. I mean, I am sure that, most people do get $30 to $40 million loans from their parents.
Of course.
And, but what he did with it was fabulous compared to what most people are able to do
with their
$30 to $40 million loan from their parents.
Mom, I'm waiting at any time, okay?
Exactly.
Anytime.
Yes, I've still been waiting, by the way.
Right.
Yes.
Our parents don't love us as much as Donald Trump's dad.
The day I graduated law school, my father said, here's your student loans.
Right.
You're on your own. Best of luck.
That is.
That was
that
basically.
seems to be the
really?
parent
Wow.
party
Thank
line.
you very much.
Yeah. Oh, you're a self-sufficient adult now.
Yeah. So in any event, now in 2016.
Right.
Okay. At the Democratic National Convention, you remember he made fun of John McCain who got imprisoned in Vietnam.
Right.
The same Vietnam that Trump had bone spurs and couldn't go, and said, I like my heroes not to be captured.
Not to be captured,
okay.
That's right.
And then in an emotional speech at the Democratic National Convention during the 2016 presidential campaign, a fallen soldier's father, Khizr Khan, directly addressed Mr. Trump, and he said, "You have sacrificed nothing and no one." Do you remember? Because
I do.
Yeah, because he made fun of the Khans who has purple, I guess, what was it called, the purple?
Yeah, their son was a Purple Heart.
Purple Heart, right.
And in response to the Democratic Convention.
Gold Star, and it was the Khan's son got killed.
Right.
And he was like, how dare they speak out against me?
Right, yeah.
Because you speak out against veterans.
Yeah, so happy Veterans Day.
Right, happy Veterans Day. That's your commander-in-chief.
Okay. Meanwhile, the California fires, it's horrible what's going on.
Oh my God, yes.
Entire towns. I can't believe this is actually happening in the United States of America.
Yeah, it's
entire towns are being incinerated.
Yeah.
The town of Paradise, California is no longer paradise. 27,000 people live in this town. The town is now ashes.
Yeah.
There is nobody left in this town. The entire town went up in flames.
Yep.
There are 6 wildfires going on in California right now. 3 of them are considered major. They're sizzling throughout the entire state. Fierce winds, dry land, no rain. It's causing it.
Yep.
The so-called campfire, and I guess it was started by someone who started a campfire, has left at least 228 people missing. So we don't know of those 228 people missing if they're alive or dead. 31 have already been confirmed dead. It's 40 miles. The campfire is 40 miles north of Sacramento, California.
Yeah.
It burned down more than 6,700 homes. Look at that, right on the highway. And what happened was that people, this is somebody trying to escape the fire.
Yeah.
And what I read was, what happened was when people heard about the evacuation, if you can even see there on that video, they're 1-lane highways in and out of these towns because they're built into the forest.
Yeah.
And there was so much traffic that the fire was spreading faster than the cars could move because of the traffic.
Yeah.
And people had to literally run out of their cars and run for safety, or maybe even got killed or burned in their cars while trying to escape. And that's where most of the injuries happened. It scorched more than 110,000 acres of land, and only 25% of it is contained.
Oh my God.
There's the Woolsey fire, and that's in Southern California. And I don't know if this is Los Angeles. Ventura and Los Angeles counties both have had evacuations, including Malibu Beach. Parts of both Los Angeles and Ventura County have been evacuated. Nobody knows the number of people missing in these counties. A lot of people do not even have cell phone service.
Yeah.
There are gusts of up to 60 miles an hour in the mountains, valleys, and canyons of Southern California, raising the possibility of downed power lines and trees. And in combination with low humidity, it's created the perfect firestorm.
Oh my God.
Now, Donald Trump, while the entire state of California is literally up in flames.
Yeah.
He, if you would think that the president of the United States would say, "My hearts go out to those who have lost their homes.
Right.
My hearts go out to those who have got killed or injured.
Help is on the
Help
way.
is on the way. The federal government, the United States of America, is going to stand by you and do what is needed. We're going to send resources. We're going to send firemen. We're going to send water. We're going to send food and shelter. And don't worry, all of the resources of the entire United States of America will be behind you because you're an American, and as Americans, we all stand behind each other." Something like that. Okay, now I just did that off the top of my head.
And that was beautifully written.
And that was beautifully written off the top of my head. So you don't need to be a genius to say something decent.
So what did he actually say?
So this is the only thing he has said.
No.
Okay, well, you haven't said it yet. You're already saying no.
I'm so worried. I'm so worried.
This is the only thing he has said since that I am aware of as it pertains to the wildfires that are going on in California, which are unprecedented, and which, by the way, if you ask I would say certainly a majority of scientists, but almost all scientists would agree that a lot of this is caused because of climate change.
Right, absolutely.
Because, there's less water, more wind, different changes in climate. I could almost assure you that a majority, if not a large majority of scientists would say this is a result of climate change, what you're seeing here.
Absolutely.
Okay, which is caused by people like Donald Trump who are not trying to rein it in, who have taken United States of America out of the Paris Accords, who wants to burn more coal, but who could care less about the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the land in which we live in.
Absolutely.
Okay, but be that as it may,
yeah,
this is what he had to say. Okay, because he could have said a lot.
Okay.
Right? And this is his tweet. "There is no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California except that forest management is so poor. Billions of dollars are given each year with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of the forest. Remedy now or no more federal payments." Huh?
Oh.
What?
My God.
What?
That's not, please tell me that's not what he said.
By the way, you've lost your homes. People are dying. People are fleeing. People are going to have serious psychological damage from all of this.
But it's because of the Democrats.
No, it's not only because of the Democrats, but I don't really care about any of these people. I just want to make a political point.
Right. That's disgusting.
Meanwhile, in a tweet replying to Donald Trump, Lorton Elaine changed the word mass shootings for and guns for the mismanagement. Okay?
Right.
So in other words, every time that Trump said mismanagement, she changed the word to either mass shooting or gun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how that tweet would look, changing one word.
Right.
Okay? And it says, "There's no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly mass shootings in America except that gun mismanagement is so poor. Billions of dollars are given each year with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of the guns. Remedy now or no more federal payments."
Now that's what I
that's
wanna
a
hear.
tweet.
That's a tweet.
Right. Meanwhile, besides homes and property, businesses have lost. People have lost their businesses.
Yeah.
Paramount Studios has a movie ranch where they film a lot of their outdoor Western movies. Westworld, the historic Westworld movie set, has been burnt to the ground.
Oh no!
Westworld uses the western town out near the Santa Monica Mountains to shoot its Main Street scenes. The HBO series is also shot in Santa Clarita as well. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. You remember that show? Between 1992 and 1997. I think that was a female doctor out in the Wild West.
Yep.
It was filmed on this movie lot.
Oh, yeah.
Burned to the ground. No more Dr. Quinn movie sets.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love Westworld. I watch
Yeah.
Westworld all the time.
You liked Westworld?
Oh, I love Westworld.
Yeah.
I think it's a great show.
And by the way, the fires have made it all the way to Thousand Oaks, California, the same town that's being evacuated now. Thousand Oaks, California, parts of Thousand Oaks, California is being evacuated. And it's the same town in California that had the mass shooting at the college country bar last week by a guy by the name of Ian David Long, who was not a female Guatemalan escaping from violence in Central America. No, it doesn't look like it. This is a born American who actually was a Marine who went in and shot all 12 people. And what Donald Trump is doing is he's putting 5 Marines on the border to basically shoot any Guatemalan woman who comes near the border to apply for asylum.
Right.
When we really should be spending our money and our time, perhaps starting with health, mental health, physical health of our veterans.
Yep.
How many veterans come back with post-traumatic stress disorder? We're going to see a veteran with post-traumatic stress disorder later today.
Absolutely.
And if the money was better spent, we wouldn't have these mass shootings. It's not to say that every immigrant in the world is a good person.
No, not at all.
Okay. There's a percentage of bad immigrants, and it's the same percentage of bad Americans.
Exactly.
Okay. The percentage of good people and bad people.
Exactly.
It's the same percentage, no matter where you basically come from.
Exactly.
Okay. But to say all our problems because some poor woman's coming from Guatemala when we have mass shootings by Americans week after week. And to say that our biggest threat in America is this poor woman coming from Guatemala in a caravan.
Right.
It's not really truthful.
Absolutely.
Right. Meanwhile, the poor people at Thousand Oaks, after they've had to endure the mass shooting of 12 people that Donald Trump really didn't say much about or didn't say how he's going to fix anything.
Right.
We have mass shootings every week. He doesn't say, gee, we have to sit down and have a plan on how to fix America.
Right.
He just says more guns.
More guns.
Okay, by the way, you know what happened with more guns? The sheriff who went in to try to stop this mass shooter, he got shot himself.
Exactly.
So why are more guns going to protect us? I don't know. And he got killed, actually, the sheriff.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, you just because there's a guard out in front doesn't mean that guard is faster on the trigger than the guy coming in.
And that's been shown time and time again.
Yeah.
The same thing happened in Parkland, Florida.
But the point I was trying to make, and I didn't want to get onto a gun thing, but
Yeah.
the point I was trying to make is the poor people in Thousand Oaks, California, after enduring all of these mass shooting, they are now having to evacuate their homes because of the fires. If you live in Thousand Oaks, California, you'd be like, what is this, the end of the world? What's going on here?
Yeah.
You know?
I can't imagine what that community must be going through right now.
So Ian Long, he posted on Instagram at 11:24 p.m. I didn't see this. Jill just pointed out to me. And this is what he put on his Instagram as he was shooting people, this guy, in the bar. He stopped to make a post on Instagram. I'm going to read this for the first time and I'll comment after because I don't know what he posted. It's too bad I won't get to see all the illogical and pathetic reasons people will put in my mouth as to why I did it, the military veteran said in the post. Fact is, I had no reason to do it. I just thought, fuck, life is boring, so why not? 3 minutes later, Long posted this. I hope people call me insane, smiley face, smiley face. Would that just be a big ball of irony? Yeah, I'm insane, but the only thing you people do after these shootings is hopes and prayers or keep you in my thoughts every time and then wonder why this keeps happening again. Then, after shooting 12 people, he turned around and killed himself. But we have to go put 5,000 troops on the border.
Right.
And by the way, if you watch our show tomorrow, we're going to have some letters from not the people who are coming up from the caravan, but people from Central America who have been already incarcerated.
Yeah.
Letters about their life and their hopes and dreams. And, we can compare and contrast it to Ian David Long.
Right.
Hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams.
But and I'm getting off the fire, which is really what I was talking about. But when you think about it, and you say Donald Trump and Fox News, we watch on Fox News. I don't, but I know they're broadcasting it. 60 to 70% of the news you see on Fox News is about this caravan.
Oh my God.
That they're rapists and Islamic jihadists and murderers, and we have to stop them. It's an invasion. It's not an invasion. We're fighting the wrong people. We have to start looking inwardly, and the people who are fighting us are ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's smoke and mirrors, by the way. And you want to know why it's smoke and mirrors? It's all done to keep Donald Trump in power, which is the saddest thing in the world.
Absolutely.
People are dying. The environment's getting killed. There is mass shootings,
And
environmental
nothing's
issues.
changed.
People are anxious psychologically what's going on in this world. All for the selfish purpose of keeping Donald Trump and his group of people in power and rich.
Yeah.
You think about it. It's
Absolutely, and that's what kills me about what the shooter said, because and it almost numbs me to everything, because he's absolutely right. All that's going to change is people are going to say thoughts and prayers being sent your way, and nothing is going to change because Donald Trump is absolutely going to stay in power.
So Donald Trump has changed the rules for asylum seekers in relation to this caravan. If you enter the United States without inspection, you enter the United States illegally, you're now barred from applying for asylum. So you have to apply at a border crossing in order to be granted asylum. But who's at that border crossing? 5,000 troops with guns pointed in your face. So the ACLU is obviously appealing that into federal court. I would argue very strongly, and I think I'm right, that is a violation of international treaties. It's also beyond the scope of what Donald Trump can do. He can't change laws like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
Oh my God.
Let's see. So, in other bizarre news, on an English farm in Somerset, southern England, they welcomed a new animal, rare animal.
What?
It is a cross between a zebra and a donkey. It's called a zonkey. A zonkey. He's Zippy the Zonkey.
Oh, I needed that.
He is a donkey and a zebra. He arrived April 2nd. And Zippy mother is a 6-year-old zebra. And his donkey's father is named Rag.
Rag.
Now I want you to know England was a little late.
Yeah.
Because they may have the Zonkey, but we have the Zaddy.
We
have a Zaddy here, which is a cross between a daddy and a what? And just a...
No, it's a Zam Daddy.
Zaddy.
Zaddy.
And that's a cross between what?
It's you do dam, but you replace the dam with a Zam, and then it's Daddy.
But what is that a cross between? It's between a daddy and a good-looking guy? Most daddies are not good-looking. Is that it?
No, a Zaddy is like a...
what is that like?
It's not a cross. It's like It's a refined, sexy gentleman.
But it's a cross between a daddy and a refined sex. It's like a cross between the two.
The cross is damn daddy. So zaddy. That's the cross.
I'm sending you back to school.
That's the cross. I'm sorry.
I am sending you back to what's the class you took?
Improv?
Improv.
Yeah.
You have to go with it, Kim.
I'm going with it.
You're not going with it.
Damn daddy?
Nah, you didn't go with it. All right. What else we got here?
I don't know that many Z words, Brad.
Yeah.
you know a lot of Z words.
You know what? You know what?
Oh no. I'm always worried when you make that face.
I saw this and I don't understand this story.
Let's see if
I don't understand. A woman has revealed how she secretly earned $130,000. So we wanted to share this story with everybody from Brad Squad because you can do this work from home.
Okay.
Right?
I'm into this.
This is work you can do from home, and you can earn $130,000. Okay?
Okay. I'm in the wrong line of work already.
Are we ready?
I'm ready. If I can do it from home.
Yeah. So a woman by the name of Roxy Sykes came up with a new business that she's doing from home.
Okay.
She exercises in her socks. She walks around in her socks.
Okay.
And then she sells her smelly socks to foot fetishists around the world. And she claims to have earned from doing this $130,000. Now you have to have a really nice looking foot. Okay, so if you have like warts all over your feet or something, this job's not for you. But assuming you have a pretty foot, a good looking foot, you can make $130,000 selling your smelly socks.
That's a profession?
Yes, it is a profession. She used to be a property investor and realized that there's more money selling dirty socks than investing in properties.
Property.
Yes.
Oh my God. She's got feet.
She earns more than $10,500 a month. After initially starting up her side project as just a social media account, Roxy knew she had to progress further if she wanted to keep up with the competition. I would be in business meetings taking photos of my feet under the table and getting an influx of messages by the hour asking if they could buy something that touched my foot.
What?
And that's how it all started with her. Why was this not, this should have been a hump day news. I don't know why that's not hump day news, but it was given to me. And finally, Belgium Kim.
Yeah.
Finally, Belgium Kim, your boyfriend, the man waiting for you right now. Yes, the spoon
man?
swallower, yes. He is in China right now. He swallowed a steel spoon lodged in his esophagus more than a year ago. Surprisingly, he was able to swallow and eat despite the fact that the spoon was in there. But eventually, it was causing him a lot of discomfort. And we're only going to identify him as Mr. Zhang. There's the spoon in his stomach.
Oh,
but we're going to
my
only
God.
identify him as Mr. Zhang because I don't want to embarrass him when he comes and dates you. Okay? So we're only going to identify him as Mr.
Zhang.
Zhang.
How old was he?
He's your age, 27.
He does.
And yes, he's 27 years old. He's a spoon swallower. And he did it on a dare. It sounds like somebody you would want to meet, okay? He's like, somebody's friend came over and goes, I dare you to swallow the spoon. He goes, okay.
Oh my God,
Yes.
sweep me off my feet.
This is a guy you'd want to meet.
Sweep me off my feet.
So months passed and, it really wasn't very, it wasn't really hurting him, but then eventually it was hurting him. And he finally went to a doctor, and the doctor had to perform a 2-hour surgery to remove the spoon because the man got a dare.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
And that is all the news that's fit to print today, Belgium Kim. Where are we at with sharing? Go tell everybody what it is that they got to share and do before we get to our immigration questions.
Okay, Brad Squad. We are at 158 shares, and I'm seeing a whole lot of people say that Facebook is stealing shares. So we want to remind you of something. You have to hit that share button in Facebook. Now, tagging people in the comments is helpful. However, that just gets them to know the show. That doesn't count as a share, you guys. Second of all, don't be sharing to the same people. I've gotten like 10 shares to my personal account.
Stop.
That doesn't count.
It just turned 6:38 on my... We didn't get anywhere for them. We didn't get it in 30 minutes.
You gotta play by the rules.
Still have time for 3 more.
We got time to win 3 more, you guys. So share. We're gonna get you a chance to win anywhere from $100 to $300 gift certificate. But you have to share, you guys. You have to share to new groups, to new people, in new messages.
By the way, I have to say our schmoozing is getting longer and longer by the moment. We're 1 hour into our show. We haven't even got into
I haven't even started a call.
Yeah, and we have a lot to cover.
We do.
This show's going to go overtime.
Okay.
We're going overtime.
We're going overtime.
It's going to be a tie score at the end of the game.
Whew.
We're going to have to go overtime.
Okay.
Let's go to Kim in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Kim. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on? I have an itch in my eye, and now I'm ready to go. What's going on?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm a green card holder. I've been married for 3 years. I filed my citizenship in May, and I'm still waiting for an appointment. My husband, he came to Florida from Jamaica in April, and he stayed because we were hoping I would have gained.
But you can't file an adjustment as a green card holder unless you filed an I-130 years ago. Did you file an I-130 for him years ago?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you're doing everything wrong. That's why you haven't heard anything. But you can't file if you're married to a permanent resident and your husband shows up in America, you just can't file an adjustment for him.
Oh, no, I'm the permanent resident, and my husband, No, yeah, I'm the permanent resident that filed for citizenship in in May.
Oh, you didn't file for your
And
husband. You're waiting on your citizenship.
Right.
Oh,
He
I
stayed because
misunderstand.
we were
Right,
hoping
that you'd
that,
ultimately become a citizen. All right. So
Right.
citizenship is taking a year. So you won't be
Wow.
you won't be a citizen until April or so. You took your
Until next
yeah, you took your fingerprints. You have the receipt notice,
yes,
right?
we
Yeah,
did.
just gotta wait. It's about 12 months right now.
Yes. Because we're still waiting, he's now concerned about the NTA policy that just came into effect in October, and basically wants to know if it's something that he should be concerned about, because right now he overstayed.
Which policy is this?
Notice to appear. We were reading something about it today, earlier today.
He has nothing. He has nothing to worry about unless immigration, trips over him. And even if they do, by the time he gets a hearing date, you'll be a citizen. So don't worry about it. Tell him to relax.
Oh, okay, perfect.
All right?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's all the way from Bangladesh, Jack. Jack. Jack, how are you?
Good evening.
You're calling
Can you
me
hear
from
me?
you're calling me from Bangladesh?
Yes, sir.
What time is it in
I'm calling
Bangladesh?
you from it's like 5:30 in the morning.
Oh my God! This man woke up at 5:30 in the morning to ask a question. I hope I get a good answer for you. What's going on?
Yeah. I came to United States on a B1B2 visa.
Uh-huh.
Okay. One of my agents helped me from the Bangladesh to get a B1B2 visa. Actually, the thing is let me tell you. I came in United States on B1B2 visa, and then I convert my visa to the F1. I started going in college. Okay, while studying, I fell in love with the American girl, and we got married. Okay. After the marriage, she filed a petition for me. Everything was all right. I got the work permit. Okay, and my green card interview came. The immigration officer asked me, show me your divorce certificate. And I was like, I'm not married. So he's like, okay, but your DS-160 is saying that you are married. Then I got to know that the guy who helped me from the...
So the guy who helped you claimed you were married to get you the visitor's visa and lied. So you made a misrepresentation.
Right.
So then what you needed to do was go to Bangladesh and get a letter saying from the government saying there's no record of any marriage in the entire country, and then you needed to file a waiver. Is that what happened?
Yes. No. So what happened is, then after my father got sick, I came to Bangladesh to see him. Okay. Then while I was traveling to the United States, the Abu Dhabi airport immigration officer stopped me.
Jack.
Yes.
Okay. I told you what you needed to do, but you didn't do it. You left the country. When you leave the United States of America and you try to come back after being discovered with a misrepresentation, they're going to stop you and deport you, which is probably what happened. Okay. So now, now you're in Bangladesh, and are you still? What's going on with the marriage here in the United States?
She is still with me. We talk every day.
Okay. So then this is what needs to happen. Your wife needs to file a new I-130 visa petition for you. You need to go to the U.S. Embassy in Bangladesh. You need to prove that you were not married to. This is your first marriage. Get a letter from whatever agency compiles in Bangladesh the marriages. There's no record of a marriage with Jack with anybody, and then you got to be ready for a waiver. You need help. Hold on one second. Let's go to Shay in Atlanta, Georgia. Shay.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
I wanted to know, I had gotten into some trouble a few years back, and it was, the charge I had gotten was breach of peace and criminal mischief. And it's been, I would say I got charged in 2014. So when could I file for citizenship?
What happened with the case? You were charged. Were you found guilty of anything?
I had to do anger management.
Okay. Were you found guilty of something, or they did anger management and then they dropped the charges?
I did anger management and they dropped the charges.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Okay. So, assuming the case was dismissed, are you married to a citizen or no?
No,
Okay.
I came here through
So then you would have to count 5 years from when the case got dismissed before you file your citizenship.
Okay.
All right. So whenever that date is.
Okay. Also, even if like I had to be on probation for like a year,
then you would
I still have to file.
then guess what? You're not telling me what happened. If you were on probation for a year, you were found guilty of something. So that's a different story. Okay? So what I would suggest that you do, just because it's a perfect lesson for everyone to learn. When you do probation, you were found guilty of something. Just because you didn't go to jail doesn't mean the case was dropped. You have a conviction, which may or may not make you deportable. I have no idea what you pled guilty to. So before you do anything, you now need a consultation. Hold on. Let's go to Junior in Houston, Texas. Junior.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Brad? I'm
What's
okay.
going on?
Yeah, I want to explain something to you, and then I would like to have you explain something to me.
Sounds like a fair deal.
Yes, sir. All right. Married 2016. Filed papers 2017 January. Get you with all the papers. I-131 and EAD and stuff. Went to my interview last month. Case was held for review. But my thing is, I want to travel on the I-131 to my home country. But I was reading something, which it said before 2012, before the matter of Arabali came in, they usually can stop you and prevent you from coming in, the CBP officer. But since 2012, with the matter of Arabali, as long as you don't have no matter of inadmissibility, you know what I'm saying, they can't
You're doing a good
stop
job.
you from coming in.
You're doing a good job. I agree. That's correct.
So can you explain in a paragraph matter of Arabali to me according with the I-131?
Kim.
Yes.
He wants me to discuss a Supreme 12.
No problem.
Me and you talked the other day. Talked the other day too, Mr. Brad.
All right, 1 second. I got to stretch for Supreme Court decisions from 2012.
Right. Rack that brain of yours.
All right, so matter of Arabelli basically
See?
reconfirms matter of Flutie, which is the Flutie doctrine. Believe it, I know this. Which is the Flutie doctrine.
You say this like
Right,
you don't expect me to know this, but we do and you do. It was a completely reasonable expectation.
So the Flutie doctrine basically says that you have not left the United States if you take a short, innocent trip abroad and come back. Okay? Then for some period of time, there was, prior to matter of Arabelli, there was immigration was saying, well, if you were on advance parole and you lived illegally in the United States for more than 180 days, then we're not going to allow you to come back because you've overstayed by 180 days. You're inadmissible to the United States. You need a waiver, which is why if you always hear me say provisional waivers, you can't go home. You'll be stuck for 10 years unless you do the waiver. So what matter of Arabelli? Somebody sued, and I guess the guy's name was Arabelli. I don't know what his first name or last name, but whatever. The guy's name was Arabelli. He sued. He said that's unfair, and for about 30 or 40 years prior to this, the United States said in the Flutie doctrine that short, innocent trips abroad, it's as if you never left the United States. So the Supreme Court basically reconfirmed the Flutie doctrine in matter of Arabelli that says if you're on advance parole and you were given permission by the government to leave and it's a short, innocent trip abroad, you are allowed back into the United States because it's considered you've never left. So that's why you will always hear me say, and I hear all the time, although I never really discuss the matter of Arabelli, I just give the answer. And people always say this all the time, and they say, can I travel on the advance parole? And I say, yes, but make sure it's a very short time, 2-3 weeks, that's it.
Okay, mine is going to be 1 week though. And
that's fine.
I talked with you the other day, where I tell you that my wife is 10 years older than me and stuff from Houston.
That's right. I said people are allowed to fall in love. Okay, but I myself have been in love with somebody 10 years younger than me at one time in my life.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten
not 20 years younger, but 10 years younger.
I'm still on the approval. I'm still on the review. It hasn't approved it. I'm still waiting though. Some people wait 2-3 months.
People are allowed to fall in love with somebody who's 10 years difference. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm just really want to explain Arabali. So it's safe for me to go because I have no form of charge, nothing like that, no matter of inadmissibility.
Safe. Go for 1 week. Forget about matter of Arabelli because you just clog your mind with unnecessary information. Just know that I told you it's fine. Go home for a week. You're fine. Enjoy your trip.
Okay. Suppose they try to pull any card on me or anything, I should call you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
You're
very much,
welcome.
Mr. Brad.
All right. Good luck. Enjoy your trip. Let's go to you discuss Supreme Court decisions from 2012.
But you just encouraged them because you could and you did, and
Yeah,
you
but
answered all his questions.
but I can't answer every one. I don't know every Supreme Court. I just happen to have known
Too bad
that
you
one.
set that precedent, Brad.
No. Yeah, I don't like setting precedents.
There it is.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Rick in Trenton, New Jersey. Rick.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Bry.
What's going on?
Okay, I have a big issue. Okay, I'm married from 2016, December. Okay, I filed my I-40 485 in January 2018.
Right.
I got a I-767 notice of action on February 10th. I did my fingerprint.
What's your question?
Okay. My wife, after hearing that I got my interview date, she cheated on me and left me. So I have an interview date coming up, and she's trying not to go.
All right. So
to the interview with me.
what's going on with you and your wife? She cheated on you. Did you take her back? Is she living in the house? Are you forgiving her?
No, she moved out.
She moved out. So if she moved out, you're in a bad marriage now. Okay.
Yes,
So you got one of three choices, and I probably answer this question at least once a week on this show. In your situation, and not only in your situation, Rick, but in everybody's situation, you have one of three choices. One is figure it out with your wife, get back together with her, learn forgiveness, go for counseling, whatever it takes, get her back in the home, and go as a happy couple. The second thing is go alone and prove to the immigration officer that you were the victim of extreme emotional abuse or physical abuse. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't. I don't know. Or three, if none of those two things work, there's nothing to do. Don't show up, get divorced, and try again. Fall in love a second time.
Couldn't a lawyer accompany me for the second? Okay.
Well, if there was extreme emotional abuse or physical abuse, yes. So hold on one second. Let's go to Tamika in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Tamika.
Yes, hi. Good evening. Sorry for the delay in answering.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm just calling because I have a question regarding my status. I have my alien green card, and I've had it for a really long time, over about 20 years or a little bit more, and it expired on me, and I think it's about 5 or maybe 6 years expired. And I'm in another state right now. I was born in Jamaica, and I lived in New York for a very, very, very long time. And I moved to North Carolina.
But what's your question?
My question is, would I face some type of issue moving to New York, since that's not renewed quite as yet with my other source of income, because I'm disabled as well?
No. Go move wherever you want. Let the government know that you changed addresses. Your problem is you have no problem. Okay? So you're a lawful resident. You're allowed to move from state to state. It's perfectly allowed.
Okay, so once I file to do an e-file and everything, it wouldn't be an issue for me to renew it, basically.
No. And then if you move, just change your address with immigration.
Okay, and then one other question. I've been with someone for a really long time, about 12 years, and we were considering getting married, and I was wondering if I didn't e-file, would that automatically make me a citizen, or what's the process with that?
Why would you automatically become? You only automatically become a citizen if your parents were citizens before you were 18.
Gotcha. So I still would have to e-file, and then
you can renew your green card. You would renew your green card and then file for your citizenship.
Right, and that's what I mean by e-filing. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would still have to renew my green card, and then is it like 3 years or so before you actually become a citizen because you're married to someone?
But you have a green card already.
Yeah, I do, but I'm just not a citizen yet.
So what? You can file your citizenship today.
Okay.
All right.
All
so
right.
you don't have to wait any time. So today,
okay.
if you want to fix yourself to the best you can fix yourself in immigration, you are going to do two things today, if you haven't done them already. One, you're going to go renew your green card. Two, you're going to simultaneously file for your citizenship. End of story.
Okay.
All right?
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's go to Mohammed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Mohammed.
Hello.
Hi, Mohammed.
Hi.
Hi.
My question for you, how are you, sir?
Good. What's going on?
Good. My question for you is I've been dating this girl for a year now, and we are planning to get married, and she is on disability. And I am asking you if that's going to have any issue with me, because during when we finish getting married.
You're allowed to fall in love with somebody who's disabled. The only issue is that because she may be getting a disability payment, that disability payment may not be enough money to support you. Maybe yes, maybe no, depending on the amount. So if her disability is below is 125% below the poverty level, you'll need to get a second affidavit of support. Getting disability payments is not government assistance. Rich or poor, if you're disabled, you're entitled to a disability. So it's not government assistance in that respect. It's not need-based government assistance. So the only thing is maybe you need a second affidavit of support. Other than that, you're fine.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hold on if you need help. All right. And you're very welcome. Let's go to Marie in Brooklyn, New York. Marie.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Marie.
Hi. I'm trying to get my cousin's son. He's going to be 15 in January. I hired a lawyer in Jamaica, send all the papers. But somebody told me today that I have to file some kind of paper up here so to make sure.
Well, I don't know what you're doing. What do you want? What do you
I'm
want?
trying to adopt my cousin's son.
All right. So let me stop right where you are.
Okay.
Whatever lawyer you hired in Jamaica is screwing you up royally. You can't do an adoption in Jamaica, number one, and get your kid here, get this kid here. Number two, if your cousin consents to the divorce, you can't consents to the adoption, you can't get your child here. So whatever lawyer you hired in Jamaica is literally effing you up and taking your money along with it. Okay,
Wow.
And it's screwing this kid up royally. There is only one process and one process only to bring a child that you want to adopt from Jamaica to the United States of America. And let me tell you what that process is. And it all has to be done before the child's 16 years old. Okay?
Yes.
So you don't have
15 in January.
All right, you don't have a lot of time left. All right, this is the process. You will go, where do you live? In Brooklyn? Brooklyn.
I'm in Queens right now.
In Queens. Okay. All right. So you're going to come to my office, but you don't have to. But you're going to go to the Queens Supreme Court, and you're going to do what's called the pre-adoption. Basically, you're going to adoption in Queens Supreme Court, and you are going to ask a judge after a social worker comes to your home and your fingerprints clear to basically look at your entire adoption application and say, Judge, if I get a child from another country here to America, will you sign off on an adoption? While you're doing that, simultaneously on a different track. So one track is pre-adoption. The second track is there is a boy who's 15 years old who has a parent that's alive in Jamaica. You cannot go and just take children from Jamaica. If you can only bring an orphan from Jamaica. You know what an orphan is? An orphan is I have no mom and no dad. So if
the father is dead and
Good.
his mother agreed.
Okay, guess what? He's got a mom. Okay, not an orphan. Unless the mom's dead. He's not an orphan.
Okay.
So if the mom agrees, this is why the lawyer in Jamaica is screwing you up. If the mother agrees and signs a piece of paper and says, yeah, you can take my son, guess what? That's not an orphan. That's somebody who you're adopting some kid. But you can't bring an adopted kid from Jamaica. You can only bring an orphan from Jamaica. An orphan means I have no mother, I have no father. I discovered this child who has no mom. I discovered this child who has no dad. This child is parentless. And now I want to bring this child to America to adopt. It's the only way you can do it. So while you are doing a pre-adoption in Supreme Court and asking a judge to say, hey, if I get a child, an orphan child from Jamaica, will you sign an adoption decree? While you're doing that, you're going to go to, it used to be called the Jamaican Adoption Board, I think the Jamaican Child Service, something or other. You're going to go to them and you're going to say, there's this child, he's 15 years old, I want you to go look at this family. The mother cannot, I'm presupposing, maybe this is not true, because if it's not true, then you can't lie. The mother can't support this child. She's poor. She's living in poverty. The father, he's nowhere to be found. This child basically can't survive. And I want you to go strip the mother of her parental rights, because this mother is not a fit mother. And now you strip the mother of her parental rights. The child's no longer living with the mother. The father is disappeared. Guess what this child is? This child is now an orphan, but it has to be done by the Jamaican Child Services. Now you can say, I have an orphan. And you go, and you have a judge who says he'll sign the adoption decree if I bring this orphan to America. And you go to the immigration service. You say, I got an orphan and I got a judge. Bring this child up so I can do the adoption. It's the only way you can do it. So I don't know what this lawyer in Jamaica is doing for you, but I can tell you for sure he ain't doing the right thing, or she. So hold on one second.
So can I make an appointment to come and see you?
Of course you can. Hold on one second. All right. What are we going to do? Child Development Agency. Thank you, Break Bulk. It used to be called CDA, the Child Development Agency. Break Bulk with the proper information. Nice.
Thank you.
Right. So let's go to. I wonder if this Iffy in St. Charles, Missouri. Iffy, is this the Iffy? Is this the Iffy we know and love? Iffy Awana?
Hi.
Is this Iffy Awana? No. Okay.
No.
Different Iffy. All right. But
Yeah.
we may love you too, Iffy. I don't know yet. Was this the first time calling?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to. Well, at the end of the call, we'll let you know whether we love you or not. I think we will, but I'll let you know for sure at the end. Okay. What's going on?
I came to the U.S. in 2015 on an F1 visa for my master's, and I completed in 2017. And I'm presently on OPT, STEM OPT extension. So I wanted to know, the options available for me to get a permanent residency or something.
You need to get sponsored in a job.
Okay.
That's what you need. Are you working right now?
Yeah, I am.
What do you do?
I work as a QC lab blood processing technologist.
As a what technologist?
Blood processing.
Blood processing. So so after the vampire takes the blood, you process it for the vampire. Is that basically what you do? All right. So is your employer willing to sponsor you?
No.
Well, okay. So then you're gonna need a consultation. We got to talk about what options you have, but you're gonna need to switch jobs and find somebody who's willing to sponsor you. Because if you're gonna sit in that job, you're gonna end up getting nothing. All right. So hold on one second. Let's go to Nessa in Baltimore, Maryland. Nessa.
Hello.
Hello, Nessa.
Hi. So I have one question.
Yes.
So I got married in June.
Yes.
But I was wondering, do I have to stay home for a year for my husband to file for me, or could I go back to Jamaica?
Is your husband a citizen?
Yes.
And
he's a born American.
And you came here on a visitor's visa?
Yes.
Do not go back to Jamaica. Adjust your status here. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Let's go to Alicia in Poughkeepsie, New York. Alicia.
Hello.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi. So my reason for calling, because I have a son here.
Yes.
And he was born with an illness for a lifetime.
Uh-huh.
So I was granted a work authorization permit, but it's on a 2-year basis. So this has been happening.
Are you on some sort of deferred enforced departure?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Are you
If I'm on
on something called deferred enforced departure?
I don't think it's that
What-
long, but I know it has something to do with deferred action.
Okay.
But
all right. So your question is, what do you do to get a permanent something or other?
Right.
I don't know.
because it
I
keeps
mean,
renewing.
how long have you been in the United States?
I've been here since November 2013, I believe. Yes, 2013.
All right. And how did you come?
I came on a visitor's visa.
Okay. Are you working right now?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm working.
What do you do?
I am a direct support professional. So I work with autistic children.
So would your employer be willing to sponsor you?
I doubt that.
Okay. So there's only two ways to get a green card: through family or through an employer.
Okay.
If your employer likes you, they should be willing to sponsor you because they would lose a good worker otherwise. Because I would tell you to go find a job where they're willing to sponsor you.
Oh, okay. All right.
But hold on one
Thank
second
you.
if you need more help. Let's go to Andre in Kansas, Michigan. Andre.
Hey, brother.
It's Kansas,
I have a
Missouri.
question.
Kansas,
So-
Missouri. Kansas, Missouri.
Yes.
But they wrote MI. MI means Michigan, not. MO is Missouri, but they wrote here on my thing MI. MI means Michigan. That's the point I'm trying to make. I know I'm right. Andre in Kansas, Missouri. What's going on?
So my question is that if someone is being served a letter for their hearing by ICE due to the fact that they have been arrested in high school, like how would that process work?
If I understand your question.
All right, my question
One
is...
second, Andre. Let me understand this question. Okay? Somebody has a green card. They got arrested in high school, and now they're in
No green
deportation.
card.
They got nothing. They're out of status. They get arrested in high school, and at some point later, immigration puts them in deportation. And you want to know what the process is like? It sounds like that process is he's going to get deported. So now the second question is how can you stop the deportation? I don't know. I need to know more. So hold on one second. All right? Let's go to John in Brooklyn, New York. John.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. I have my little brother. He came to the United States at the age of 16 years old. He have a high school diploma. Now he's a union worker. But in 2007, he had get arrested for possession of a weapon, which the judge had dropped it to a misdemeanor. But he did 16 months on Rikers Island consecutively for the possession of the weapon charge.
Okay.
And ICE picked him up, put him in deportation, and they released him after probably 10 months in ICE custody. They released him. They gave him a bracelet on his feet. And after probably 2 years in the streets, they took the bracelet off his feet, and he was just reporting to ICE every 3 months, every 2 months. About a month ago, ICE called him on his phone. ICE tell him come in. They wanted to deport him. They put a bracelet back on his feet. They wanted to take him to Louisiana, but they released him back to the streets, and they tell him he need to get a travel document so they could deport him. Can you stop that deportation? Can you help?
Well, he's been ordered deported. And the only reason they haven't deported him is that they don't have a country to send him back to. So they're asking him to do their work, which is to go to his country, wherever he's from, and prove to that particular country he's a citizen of that country, bring that proof to immigration so they can put him on the plane back to that country. So what needs to happen is I need to review all of the records and see if there's a way we can reopen his deportation case. If there is, I can help him. If I can't reopen it, he's going to get deported. I don't know the answer yet until I see his record. So hold on one second. Let's go to Carew in Bronx. Carew.
Good night, brother.
Good night. How are you?
Good. My wife, my son, and I, we came to United States in February of last year. And paperwork started in August of last year. We got work permit in December of last year. But even till now, we haven't received an interview date as yet.
It's taking anywhere from 12 to 24 months. You just got to hang in there.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, you're very welcome.
Okay.
Let's go to Nicholas in Hawaii. Nicholas.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have two questions. One, I'm a United States citizen, and I'm also serving in the military. I filed for my son. He's 20. He got here like a month ago. is he an automatic citizen knowing that I got my citizenship before he became 18, even though he's 20 when he arrived in the country?
No, he would only become an automatic citizen if he arrived in the country with his green card before he was 18 and you were a citizen, or you were a citizen before he was born. But in the facts that you presented, he's not a citizen. He has to wait 5 years to file for his citizenship.
Okay, second question. I got married to get my green card. However, that relationship did not work. That was like 5 years ago. I'm dating someone now who I'm planning on getting married to, but she do not live in the country. Can I get her to come to the country, and when she come, we get married? And how long after
Does she have a
the
visitor's
marriage
visa right now?
Yes, she do.
Okay, so this is the story. If you do what you say you're going to do, that would be a misrepresentation, and she would be deported, because you can't come to the United States on a visitor's visa for the purpose of getting married and getting your green card. What the law says, though, is if you come to visit and you legitimately come to visit the United States, and 90 days later you get married, and then you can adjust your status because the law presumes you changed your mind. But if you come for the sole purpose of getting married and adjusting your status, you can't do that. You understand the difference? All right, so hold on 1 second if you need help.
I do.
Let's go to Mela in Bronx. Mela.
Hello.
Hi, Mela.
Good evening, Brad. I have a question for a friend. Her husband is a green card holder, but however, they was married in Jamaica.
Right.
They had 3 kids together. The 3 kids is here, but she wasn't mentioned on the file. I guess her husband's son had filed for him.
Right.
But she wasn't mentioned. They had married for 11 years. But however, she had a B1, B2 visa, and she'd like to know, she's here now, if it's possible for her to get a work permit.
He's a citizen. She's here on a B1, B2.
No, the guy is not a citizen. He's on a green card.
How long has he had his green card?
1 year.
She wouldn't be able to stay to get a work permit, but he can certainly file for her, and she can get a green card in about 2.5 years.
Okay, so if she stay on the B1, B2 visa, it's not possible that she could get a
No, she's
work
just going to
permit.
be illegal. But he should file for her. And
No, he already put in the paperwork while she was in Jamaica.
Okay, so then you just got to wait it out.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. All right. So let's talk about sharing in our show a little bit, okay? Where are we at with sharing, Belgium, Kim?
Brad, we've been stuck for a little while at 226.
All right. So this is what I think should happen. Number one, sometimes Facebook gets stuck, and then all of a sudden the numbers pop.
We blow up.
Okay,
That's true.
so sometimes Facebook kind of gets stuck in their software.
That's true.
But what everyone can do is they can share on YouTube at Brad Show Live and get to 120 views. We're at 70 simultaneous views right now on YouTube. If we get to 120 simultaneous views, you guys are going to win something.
Absolutely.
That's something easy that everyone should be doing at this very minute. Also, keep sharing on YouTube. And what we're going to do is, I'm not going to change the number. But sorry, Julian, and sorry, Jilly. Oh, and I apologize to you as well. But our show is going to go to about 8:15 tonight.
Okay.
Okay? Just one of those nights.
It's one of those nights.
You want to know why? I don't feel bad because I gave everybody off on Friday.
I was going to say, and now they're going to have...
Now they've got to pay the piper.
And now they've got an extra hour.
That's right.
To share.
That's right.
There we go.
All right, so it does not come as a surprise when people learn that serving in the United States. And by the way, we're gonna show this, and then we're gonna do our social media check-in at around 7:30.
Okay.
Okay. So it often doesn't come as a surprise when people learn that serving in the United States military. I wanted to run this because it is Veterans Day. That serving in the U.S. military does not automatically mean citizenship, and that even a U.S. military veteran and their family members can be deported. We've seen plenty of them. United States Army veteran Miguel Perez, he's a 39-year-old Illinois man who has been in the United States since he was 8 years old. Miguel served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan and was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and a traumatic brain injury after returning home. He was in combat on 2 different tours of duty protecting the United States of America. In 2008, Miguel was convicted of a drug trafficking offense. He was a green card holder. He served half of a 15-year sentence, and then he was deported to Mexico in 2018. Now, Lincoln United Methodist Church in Chicago is a sanctuary church presided over by Pastor Emma Lozano. It's a sanctuary church, and Miguel is one of her parishioners. Pastor Lozano has been a huge advocate for Miguel. They recently joined me to discuss the situation and their fight to bring Miguel back home to America, to his family, and to his children. And we thought it was important to publicize the case of this veteran, because this veteran only represents one of thousands and thousands of veterans who have been deported, in my opinion, wrongfully. If you served the United States during wartime and you're a green card holder and you go to put your life on the line for the United States of America, your family doesn't know whether you'll ever return again, how dare the United States deport you? You did a crime, you served your time. I'm not saying you don't serve your time, but how dare they deport you after? Let's watch. Joining us today is Pastor Emma Lozano and Miguel Perez. You may remember Pastor Lozano. She presides over a sanctuary church in Chicago, Illinois. She was recently on our show. Pastor Lozano just returned from Tijuana, where she was trying to assist Miguel Perez. Now, Miguel Perez came to the United States from Mexico with his family legally with a green card at the age of 8. He served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan with the United States Army. After receiving a general discharge under honorable conditions, he returned back to Chicago, Illinois, where he found himself struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder from what he experienced in Afghanistan and related drug and alcohol issues that eventually, unfortunately for him, led to his arrest and an aggravated felony charge for a sale of cocaine to an undercover police officer. He was sentenced to several years in jail. He was recently deported back to Mexico on March 23rd of this year, approximately 8 or 9 weeks ago. He's joining us with Pastor Lozano from Mexico. Pastor Lozano is in Chicago, and they're both joining us today to discuss Miguel's case. Miguel, you're not doing as well as the rest of us, I presume.
No, not really. I'm doing just day to day.
Right. So you're in Tijuana, Mexico right now, correct?
That is also correct.
Yeah. And Pastor Lozano, how are you? Welcome back to our show. And you are Skyping in from Chicago, Illinois?
That's correct, and I'm doing fine, and I just am worried about Miguel.
Of course, of course. So let's find out a little bit about him first. You came to the United States at age 8. Why did your parents move here from Mexico?
My father played semi-professional soccer, and they offered him a job with a soccer team from Chicago, the Chicago Sting. That team's no longer in existence, but that's the reason that we came. And we came here legally because my grandfather's a natural-born citizen of the United States.
And when you came here, where did you reside?
In Chicago.
And you grew up in Chicago? You went to high school in Chicago?
Yes, I went to grammar school, 1st to 8th grade, 4 years of high school, and college in Chicago.
Where did you go to college in Chicago?
St. Augustine College.
Okay, and did you get an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree?
I actually finished. I was a few credits short of my associates, and I finished my associates while in prison.
I understand. And at what point? And I assume up to the point when you joined the military, you never had any issues with the law. Is that correct?
That's correct. Just minor stuff.
Okay. When you joined the military, how old were you and what year was this?
This was in 2001. It was April 2001. I joined up by around my 23rd birthday.
And this was right before 9/11. What made you want to join the U.S. military?
Well, my grandfather's side of the family, there's a lot of military. We come from a military family. His cousins and uncles, they served from World War II, Korea, Vietnam. So when I was little, I used to go to California to Disneyland in Sacramento, Anaheim area, and I would sit there and listen to their stories. And I always grew up thinking that I wanted to join the military at one point. Plus, I felt the duty. I felt just the civil duty to defend the country. Even if we were not at war, there was some wartime, I felt that the training was necessary just in case. something would happen in the future.
And so you come from a long family and history of family members who honorably served the United States in World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War. When you entered the U.S. military, were you aware that you were not a citizen of the United States, despite the fact you knew you wanted to, you had your civic duty or felt the civic duty to represent the United States?
That is correct. The only thing that I thought was a difference between a permanent resident and a citizen was the duty, jury duty, and the right to vote.
Right.
That was the only thing.
So you never gave thought ever that the United States would never be your home for the rest of your life?
Oh, absolutely not.
And so when you joined the military, you went into basic training?
That is correct. I went into basic training, and then I went to AIT.
What is AIT?
AIT is Advanced Individual Training, the school that the Army provides for where your job's what your MOS is gonna be. And the day that I graduated from AIT, September 11th, 2001, about 8:30 in the morning, as the first plane was hitting the Twin Towers.
That must have been scary for you, I guess. You said, okay, it's on now, right?
That is correct. When we marched back from the chapel to the main barracks, and that's when we were informed that the United States was under attack. And what I initially thought was that it was just a speech that they give to everybody that's graduating to let you know that this might happen any given time. But a few minutes later, we found out that it was just too real. A day later, I went to Georgia to Fort Benning for airborne school.
For airborne school.
Airplanes.
And how long was that?
That was 3 weeks.
Was that the first time you ever jumped out of a plane?
That is correct.
Scary?
Absolutely, yes. I got kicked out the first time, kicked out the plane.
Right, because you didn't want to jump.
Correct.
And then I know just from the history of 9/11, it was only several weeks later that President George W. Bush went on television and said that we are now going to go to war against Afghanistan. How long after that presidential speech were you shipped off to Afghanistan?
I was in Afghanistan March 2002.
Okay, so approximately 6-7 months into the war, you got shipped off to Afghanistan.
That is correct.
And what was your job for the military in Afghanistan? What were you required to do?
My initial job was to be a light wheel mechanic, which is a quick fix for Humvees. For example, flat tire or it's overheating. It's just quick fix for when something's wrong with the truck. But when we got to Afghanistan, I took a whole different role. I got put with the Special Forces team guys, and I was shipped out to their fire bases. Fire bases is just small little bases out in the middle of nowhere, really. And I took different types of jobs. So the main job that I had was operating the 50 caliber on top of the Humvee.
So you were sent out into basically the forward positions where they had small little camps in the middle of nowhere, and then you had to go out on missions and operate the gun on top of a Humvee, like a little Jeep. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And was that for offensive purposes, or was that for protection of troops going in and out of the camp?
It was for offensive reasons.
Right.
The unit, it was for more like seek and destroy. It was the unit that I was in concentrates on getting certain targets.
So you were seek and destroy the enemy. I guess you would go out at night. I remember the U.S. military had a much bigger advantage because they had the night goggles, and you were doing a lot of raids at night, I would assume. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right. And how many raids do you think, seek and destroy raids that you went on in your first tour of duty there in Afghanistan?
Maybe about 10. There's different operations. There's small operations, and then there's big operations. So some of them really don't count. We had Operation, I don't know if they're classified still, but there's like Operation Anaconda, different operations.
Right. And on each of these missions, were you required to fire your gun at somebody?
Not on every single mission.
But on some of them, you did.
That is correct.
And do you recall if you killed enemy combatants?
It's really hard to tell.
You don't know. It's possible.
Yes.
You don't know what bullet it was. And on your first tour of duty, and if it's too difficult or too hard or too emotional, Can you tell us, something that, keeps you up at night, or that you remember that really is upsetting to you about what you experienced or what you saw?
Yeah, it's kind of hard, but one of the main things that keeps coming back to me is the smell of blood and bone fragments, and maybe a 12-year-old boy that was split in half by a 50 caliber at close range, and that's one of the main things that's reoccurring.
In your mind.
That is correct. That's the main, because of my son and because of my daughter. So it's just, at the time it didn't matter really.
It was more adrenaline at the time, I assume, correct? And you came back and you were, I guess, high on adrenaline.
That is correct, because you think that you're doing the right thing and everybody is below you.
Right, because and if you didn't do the right thing, you would have been dead, or your colleague or your friend next to you would have been dead.
That is correct.
And how long were you in Afghanistan on your first go round?
I returned in October.
And you returned, so you were there for about 6 months. You did about 10 missions. You definitely saw combat. You were on seek and destroy. You came back. What was it like to come back to the United States? You have a wife. You have children. Tell me about your family here.
Upon the first return, everything was fun and everything was still adrenaline. I came back to Chicago to spend some time with my daughter and my wife. We weren't married at the time. We were just my daughter's mother.
Right.
We spent some time, but most of the time it was just partying, because of the 6 months that we were back. It was like to regroup, and we were only attending formation Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So every week was a 4-day weekend. So
right.
I was going down to Florida, Myrtle Beach. There was a lot of partying, a lot of stress release.
Sure. And then you got the call back to go back to Afghanistan again. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You didn't have an option to say no. You had to go back.
There's always an option. There's always an option. You can say no, you can refuse. So there's consequences. But there was no reason for me to refuse. I kind of wanted to go back. And the second time going back is when I actually, before I left, about 3 weeks before I left, I got legally married to my daughter's mother for purposes, because there was just a small feeling that I might not be coming back.
Right.
And the reason that we got married was just a peace of mind.
Peace of mind. And of course, you would be able to get benefits from the government should anything, God forbid, happen to you.
Correct.
Now, you got married. You went back to Afghanistan when? I guess this would be fall of 2003?
Yes, that's April, beginning of April.
April 2003. And did you go back to the same position again, or did you have a different position now?
The same thing. The same thing. We're attached to the teams. They're called teams. It's a 12-man team that they have, the Green Berets, the Special Forces, and they attach either a mechanic and a cook to them to go out on the different fire bases.
And were you on the same fire base or a different fire base?
On different fire base. The main fire base that I was in was called Firebase Gecko, southeast of Kandahar.
And you did the same exact thing again. You went out on night raids and you engaged the enemy. And some nights nothing happened, and other nights I assume there was a firefight.
That is correct.
And how long did you stay in Afghanistan for this second tour?
Also till October. It was the same rotation. I was there till the end of October of 2003.
Okay. And then at that point, I understand from the notes you were honorably discharged from the military. Is that correct?
A year later, August 2004.
Okay. But you did those 2 tours.
That is correct.
I guess everybody, as they grow up, has some sort of casual alcohol use or even casual drug use, right or wrong. When did it start to get out of control for you, and why was it getting out of control?
Well, upon my second return, it was alcohol. Alcohol was always involved after the first return, but it was drugs, especially powder cocaine, came into play after my second return. And you come back to the United States, and everything is slow. Everything is slow. It's as far as it's a combination of everything. The people's action and everything is slow, but at a fast pace.
I understand. You go from this exhilaration, this rush of exhilaration that you're shooting and people are shooting at you and your life could be over, or someone else's life can be over, and the adrenaline and the exhilaration to come back to, I guess, mowing the lawn and cooking the dinner.
That is correct. And then you see people in a hurry and to do nothing. Like you see people crossing the street or just speeding, and it's just, especially in the city, you see commotion and everything, and you're like, why? You know, like, what's this all about? You're just confused.
Right.
And the only time that I was able to be relaxed was under the effects of alcohol and powder cocaine.
Right, and I guess the powder cocaine gave you that adrenaline rush that you were missing from being out in the field.
To feel awake.
Correct. Did your wife notice a change in you, or your family notice a change in you?
Yes, because upon my return, after getting out the military and coming back home, I did not move back in with my wife. We just we went our separate ways. Yes, I would see my daughter anytime I wanted, on the weekends or every day after school, but we were no longer living together.
Did anybody in your family try to get you help?
At first, my mother would tell me something was wrong, but I was in denial. I didn't really express anything, so I would disappear a lot, and they thought that I was out with friends, maybe partying,
right.
And also my friends, they thought that I was at home because I didn't come around. But the truth was that I was just by myself most of the time.
And did anybody in the military, here you served two tours of duty, you were honorably discharged from the military. What was their role in trying to help you to reacquaint yourself, I guess, or put you back into society at a slower pace, or reacquaint yourself back in society without the alcohol and drugs, or nobody ever checked on you on that from the military side?
No, there was no transition period. They have, like, at that time, it wasn't like it is now. I see now that they have a lot of programs. Back then, it was just maybe a half-hour class or an hour class where you just talk about feelings, and it was just something very minimal.
But nobody ever checked on you, hey, you doing okay? You having a problem with drugs or alcohol? It was just you came back, thank you very much for your service, goodbye.
Yes, pretty much, yes.
At what point you were arrested? Tell us about what happened there and how you ended up going from using drugs and alcohol to what was alleged to have been an undercover sale of cocaine to an undercover police officer.
Upon my return from the military when I was in Chicago, I met with a childhood friend, and he was a drug dealer. But I would affiliate with him just to go out to parties, and it was free drugs for me, free drugs and free party. So every time that I needed anything, I would just call him. We would get together, maybe go to the casino or hang around for a little bit. And every time I would leave with drugs. That's what it was. It was like that for a while. And this happened in 2008 when by that time I had met somebody else and my son was born. And me and my son's mother were fighting because of the same thing again. She was telling me, that there was something wrong, that I needed to get help, that I needed to go to the VA hospital.
So this is 4 years of a downward spiral into drugs and alcohol. And although your family tried to intervene, no one from the military ever even called you once.
No. My mother was the first one that started pushing me to go to the VA hospital around at the end of 2006 and the beginning of 2007.
Only because your mother told you to do so.
That is correct. And when we went to the VA hospital, the first time, they told me to come back in about a month or two. When I came back, they gave me a bunch of medication. I cannot recall what the medication was, but it was a lot of medication. And then they scheduled me to come back in a few months, or when I was having any episode and my mother would take me, I would have to sit there maybe for like hours, and then it would be like a 16-hour wait. So I would just take off.
What was the test that they did for you, and you don't know what they were what were they treating you for? Were they treating you for drug dependence, or were they treating you for something else?
They did a MRI or a CAT scan, and they were treating me for PTSD. They were treating me for back pain. They were treating me for TBI, traumatic brain injury.
How did you get a TBI? That's a very serious thing. Did you fall or get hit in the head while you were on duty?
It was different. It was multiple explosions. One incident, it involved a flashbang grenade blowing up right about here. And a flashbang grenade is it's like a concussion grenade. It's the one that you throw to stun everybody. And one of the local children found one, and I would never know if he thought that it was a real explosive grenade that he did just to take us all out, or maybe he thought it was some sort of a toy, and he pulled the pin, and it blew, and he blew his skin off, and you could see a little bit of his bone, and it happened right here. And when that happened, I was out. It was a concussion, and also I fell off the truck because we didn't carry doors. There's no doors on the Humvees.
Is this the second tour of duty or the first tour of duty this happened?
There's the second one.
Second one. Now, and were they treating you at the VA hospital? Did they know about your drug dependence as well, or that was really not discussed at all?
Not really. It wasn't really discussed.
It was really just your post-traumatic stress disorder. You had a traumatic brain injury, and they were treating you for that. And they just gave you a pill and said, come back in 2 months.
That is correct.
Outside of the pills they gave you, and you went back and forth for, I guess, for a checkup, did they do anything else for you?
No.
Nothing.
No, not at the time. No, it was under construction. It was a lot of things going on. They had there's 2 hospitals in Chicago, one in Maywood and the other one close to downtown Chicago. One of them was under construction and the other one was almost finished. So it was a lot of running around.
Basically, you're being treated at the VA at the most basic minimal level, and you've been going on a downward spiral of drugs and alcohol for years. The VA doesn't even know about it. No doctor's treating you for it. And you now wind up in a situation where you're handing drugs over to an undercover cop. Were you aware of what you were doing at that moment?
I want to say yes, but I was under the effects of alcohol and drugs. And what happened, I was not even supposed to be there that day.
You were under the effects of which drugs? The drugs that the VA gave you, or just cocaine and alcohol?
Cocaine and alcohol, and a little bit of the ones that the VA gave me. It was some muscle relaxers, I believe. My friend was under investigation for like 9 months. They had recorded buys. And the day that they decided they were going to take them in, that's the day that I was with them.
So your friend, they were following your friend, and you just happened to be with him at that moment.
That is correct. Right. I wasn't home for like 3 days because of a fight with my son's mother. So then I was staying at his house, and when he was going to go drop me off at my son's mother, we stopped.
That's when the arrest happened. And had you not got into a fight with your son's mother, you wouldn't have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we would not be talking to you in Tijuana, Mexico.
That is correct.
So when you went, you were charged in federal court or in state court?
State court.
State court. Did your criminal defense attorney bring up because you have to show, that you had the intent, you had the mental culpability to know what you're doing, which is selling drugs to an undercover cop. Did he bring up or she bring up the fact that you had not only post-traumatic stress disorder, but even more a traumatic brain injury? Plus, you were on all different kinds of medication, including muscle relaxers and other medication the VA gave you. Was that brought up in terms of your mental state and what you were doing at that moment?
No, it wasn't. I asked the attorney once. I was like, "Can we mention to the lawyer, to the judge that I'm a United States Army veteran and all this issues?" And he advised me not to. He told me that if the judge were to find out that I served in the military, that he was going to say I should have known better, and he was going to give me more time.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know the judges in Chicago, but I would say that certainly the fact that when you have a traumatic brain injury, your brain is not functioning at the level in which it should be for your age and gender. So certainly it diminishes, what your mental capacity was in terms of your intent. Now, something to look at down the line. Perhaps maybe even one of my criminal defense attorneys can look at it as well. Because ultimately, I don't want to get into all of the legal issues at this moment, but ultimately, you're only going to come back to the United States either as a United States citizen or if you can vacate that conviction. Or have a senator, I know Senator Duckworth is in your corner, or have a senator make a private bill.
That is correct. Also death.
Death, right. When you die, you can go into Arlington Cemetery. So now you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. You plead guilty to what in court in Chicago?
It was called manufacture and delivery. In the state of Illinois, if it's packaged, it's a manufacture and delivery, and that's what I pled guilty to. Also, my co-defendant he was out on bond and he fled the country. He fled to Mexico.
So he's still on the run.
He's dead.
He's dead now.
He was killed in Mexico in 2012 while I was in prison.
How long were you in prison?
7.5 years.
And in the 7.5 years in prison, how did you get treated for your post-traumatic stress disorder? How did you get treated for your drug and alcohol dependence? And how did you get treated for your traumatic brain injury?
I think that going to prison is probably the best thing that ever happened. I understand that it has the consequences that I'm here now, but as far as my physical health, it was probably the best thing that could ever happen because I started seeing a psychiatrist once a month, a psychologist twice a month, group meetings, alcohol and substance abuse programs, and I started learning how to deal with what was going on with my life, and I've been drug-free since the day that I entered prison.
And you haven't touched it since?
Not at all.
And now, unfortunately, you pled guilty to an aggravated felony. And what the law says is it is an aggravated felony to manufacture and sell narcotics. If you're found guilty of an aggravated felony after April of 1996 as a lawful permanent resident, despite your military service, it's an automatic deportation unless you can show your life is in danger in Mexico. Did you feel your life was ever going to be in danger in Mexico because your friend got killed?
I'm still still in danger.
All right, so he's still in danger. We're going to come back and watch the second half of his interview in a few minutes, but we would be remiss not to do something that we call social media check-in. The heck was that?
We will, but we won't.
That was so weird. Scared me. I jumped. I couldn't even. There we go. Social media check-in. There's the happy music that we love. All right, let's go. Quickly, Kim. We're already in overtime.
Okay, so Marco's got kind of a crazy situation. Marco's roommate went to the dentist, and they were doing extensive dental work, had about 5 sessions in, and then the dentist ran away before they finished the dental work. Literally, practice shut down. No one's answering calls. They were supposed to put in a crown.
Is there an immigration question?
Friend is in a ton of pain, and yet he's out of status. And so now they want to sue the dentist for everything that they've done and all the money that they've paid, and to get them to do their dental work. But he's worried because he doesn't have status. Can you sue someone if you don't have status?
We sue people all day long who on behalf of people who have no status. You are entitled to use the courts in the United States of America, no matter what your status is. Go sue them.
Gang said, hey, I'm visiting the U.S. for a conference and was given a 3-month stay by the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines. When I arrived, U.S. Immigration granted me a 6-month stay. Should I follow what the Filipino U.S. Embassy told me or what U.S. Immigration told me? I'm a professor and wanted to work here as a teacher, so how can I apply as a teacher and for what visa, given that I'm here for the conference?
So the embassy gave him a 2-month visa, and when he came here, 3-month visa.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is a good concept to know. A visa allows you to cross a border. So the U.S. Embassy said you're allowed to cross the border anytime in the next 3 months. When you come into the United States of America, ICE or Immigration Customs Enforcement tells you how long you're allowed to stay once you cross the border. So then they said 6 months. So both are right. You're allowed to cross the border within 3 months, and then when you cross the border, you're allowed to stay here for 6 months. In terms of applying for teacher, have a consultation. That's a long process to talk about in the social media question.
Ronnie on YouTube said, could you please ask Brad if there are any news on SIDS cases regarding age in New York?
Yes, there was a court decision that came down that said that at least temporary injunction that SIDS people between 18 and 21 should have their cases processed. Hopefully immigration is doing that.
Just Call Me said, I filed under VAWA, did my biometrics. What comes next, and what's about the time frame to wait?
Next is your work permit, and then you're going to wait over a year for a green card interview.
SoCar is wondering, can Medicaid or other health insurance be helpful to overcome a public charge for an I-130 spouse visa denial for a pre-existing health condition?
Medicaid you get Medicaid because you don't have enough money to pay for health insurance. So that would hurt you, not help you.
We've got a question from Break Bulk, who said, is it wise to have a bank account or an ITIN number since my process might take a long time and I'm waiting to adjust my status? I came to the U.S. on a B2 visa, unmarried, over 21, and my mom is a U.S. citizen and she's filing for me. My priority date is June of this year.
Yeah, go get a bank account. Can't hurt you.
Denisha wants to know, what are the pre-existing medical conditions I see people asking about?
When you get health insurance years before Obamacare, and you were sick, you were ill, and you went to go buy health insurance, the health insurance wouldn't sell you health insurance. They say you have cancer. Why would we sell you health insurance for $200 a month when you're going to spend $100,000 a month in medical care? It's a bad business decision by the insurance company. Part of Obamacare said that insurance companies can no longer not deny you coverage because you are sick before you go buy the health insurance.
Richard Brown said, I'm living in the Bronx and received my work permit since December of last year. How soon do you think I should expect to get an interview?
It's 12 to 24 months from the time you file.
Kind of soon. Gromiko Brown said, my wife filed for me. NVC is asking her to resubmit an affidavit of support. But our circumstances have changed. When she first filed the affidavit, I wasn't working, so she's a family member to show income. She also had her own legal last name, and at the time she was with child. Now they're asking for the affidavit again. She's changed her last name to mine. We've had the baby, and I'm employed. Does she complete the form by adding her new information and adding my child? I just want to make sure how we complete this.
Yes. Exactly, and your employment has nothing to do with it.
Kamal said, my TPS is going to be over next summer, so I want to change my status to F1. So which would be the better way to change that from TPS to F1? My option 1, apply with USCIS by filing the I-539, or traveling abroad by applying for a new F1 visa and re-enter the U.S.
You would need to travel abroad, get a new F1 visa, and come back.
Vicky said, I'm a conditional green card holder. My 2 minor kids are currently waiting for a petition. We have a May 21st of this year priority date. My husband had an affair and said he never loved me at all. He would lock me out of the room while they attempted to talk. Please help me. How can you help?
Sounds like there could be some extreme emotional abuse. Give us a call.
Cool Jeet said, hey Brad, my girlfriend was taking food stamps. Now she's stopped. How long after she has stopped getting those food stamps could she put in for me? She's self-employed. Would that be okay for her to sponsor me?
Yeah, if she stopped, put it in. Because by the time you get the interview, it's going to be 12 months later anyway.
Arlene said, I'm going to file for my son who received DACA. Does he have to go back home to Jamaica to receive his green card?
If he's over 21, unless he's 245I, yes.
Classic Rock wants to know.
Classic Rock.
Classic Rock. I've got a question. I want to know if you're a green card holder and you had kids that are minors and have a visa. Is that a problem to keep your kid here and do the filing from here?
How old is this child?
All we know is that he's a minor.
If you're a citizen and the kid has a visa and they're here, after 90 days you can adjust their status.
What if he's a green card holder?
Then they're going to fall out of status.
Sarah Suzuki said, I hope you're having a great day.
I am.
My I-140 just got approved last week and I still have no news about my combo card. It's already outside the normal processing time. I've already sent service requests last month but haven't heard. When should I get an answer and what should I do?
I don't know what's going on with your case. I would have to review everything you've done. I really don't know.
That's why we need more info, y'all.
Yeah.
Ahmed said, I want to change my address and already have my green card. So the first question in the form AR11 is this change of address for an application or petition currently in process?
The answer is no.
Baby Voice Grant said, I got married in September of 2017 and we started the process in May of 2018. If I do my interview in Jamaica in August of next year, but I don't book my ticket until October, would I get a 2-year or a 10-year green card?
You get a 10-year green card if you get your green card after the 2nd year anniversary of your marriage. So I don't know when you're going to get your green card.
Hey Brad, my husband wants to file for me and my daughter at the same time, but my daughter is in Jamaica. Is it possible, and how do we go about doing it?
Yeah, file one I-130 adjustment for you if you're here, and a separate I-130 for your daughter if she's under 18 at the time of marriage.
All right. And Mela said, I've got a few questions. My friend is married to a green card holder, and they were married in Jamaica. The paperwork was put in for the wife. She's got a B1, B2 visa, but the wife decided to stay in the U.S. Could she get a work permit?
If you file the adjustment more than 90 days and it was not your intention to stay the whole time.
Nessa said, which is the best way for my husband to file for me when I'm in Jamaica? Do I do it in the U.S. or over here?
Well, if you're in Jamaica, you do it in Jamaica. File an I-130.
Ahmed said, what's the A number? I think
it's a file number.
Powell said, if someone got married and received their 10-year green card and then got divorced, can that person remarry another person outside of the country? And what's the waiting period to file for that new spouse? Is there one?
You can only get remarried again after 5 years of having the original conditional green card, or until you're a citizen, one or the other.
Brad, my friend had her interview date next month, but her husband got arrested and unfortunately won't be released until April of next year. Should she just go to the interview anyway, or does she wait till he gets out? It's for an adjustment of status.
Go to the interview and bring proof that your husband's in jail.
Jessica said, can someone in deportation proceedings out on bond travel out of the country and come back?
Good luck on that. You'll probably be self-deporting.
Jessica also said, if my father's illiterate, can that be grounds for me to stay in the U.S. after removal proceedings on the basis that he would be affected since I basically handle all the paperwork and everything that he needs done?
Well, you would have to apply for some sort of cancellation removal to prove the hardship and be able to win your case. But if you have been ordered deported, now going to immigration saying my father can't read, you're going bye-bye. They don't care.
They don't care.
Right.
David Ish said, I came here on an F1 visa in 2009 and I'm currently on STEM OPT extension, which expires in January. My company's filed an I-140 for me in September, and my question is, what do I do between the expiration and when the application is decided?
Well, if you're in the, if the priority date's current, you should be filing an adjustment. And I would say, for what country is he from? What's his name?
Davidish Asanov.
So unless he's Indian, is that an Indian name?
He doesn't. I can't say that he doesn't look very Indian, but
you don't know for
I
sure.
have not one idea.
You don't have any idea.
I don't have one idea.
Okay, so basically, unless he's from China, India, or the Philippines, he should be filing an adjustment right away with the I-140.
Dawnette said, after receiving the work permit, the next step is to go to Social Security office to apply for the social, right? So what documents other than the work permit do I take to the Social Security office?
Your work permit and your passport, maybe.
Ricardo said, if you get married before the 90 days, should you go back?
No. Fight it here.
Aha. Olura Timi said, I had my interview for my N400 in August, and they haven't called me for my oath of ceremony yet. But when I called them, they said it would take 90 days for my interview. Is that normal? Should I start freaking out?
Don't freak out. It's 120 days from the time of your interview to the oath ceremony.
And our very last question in this rapid fire of a social media check.
Because we're late.
Narone said, if you're 20 years of age, about to turn 21 in December, but the U.S. Immigration wrote and says that you're not eligible because at 21 you're an adult, but you already paid the sum they required for the $400, and they took the money but denied the interview. What advice would you give to someone in that situation?
Call a lawyer. There's something called the Child Status Protection Act. Perhaps you qualify.
We got through them.
So earlier in the show, we watched part 1 of the we watched.
Where are you going?
The camera, right? We watched part 1 of deported U.S. Army veteran Miguel Perez's story of being deported back to Mexico earlier this year. Miguel served, if you remember the story, 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan and was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. He had a traumatic brain injury. He was ultimately, when he came back from his second tour of duty, he said to us on Bradshaw Live that he felt bored, there was no excitement, and unfortunately he ended up being caught selling drugs. He got clean in jail, but even though he served 2 tours of duty, defended the United States of America, lived here since he was 8 years old, the military never told him to become a citizen. He had a green card for his entire life, believing he was a citizen since he served in the military. He got deported to Mexico. Let's watch the second half of Miguel Perez.
When I was in prison and it came out that I was facing deportation, I've had members of different organizations that were with me in prison approach me and offer me jobs. But when I say offer, it was pretty much laying claim. Well, when you get down there, you can go here, you can go there, and you can work with us. But it's pretty much letting me know that once I got here, I belong to them. One of the organizations, it's around the Matamoros area where I was deported at.
Those are not the Boy Scouts, I assume.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why there is the travel ban that the United States issued for American citizens not to go to certain places in Mexico.
Now, I understand that the Immigration Service came to you and there was a lot of publicity surrounding your deportation and that they had you take the citizenship test, which was basically a dog and pony show because you're barred from becoming a citizen if you have an aggravated felony after April of 1990.
That is correct. We did a mock citizen, we did the oath, we did the citizenship test, and they told me that if I wanted to change my name, to look over the certificate, because that's exactly how my name was going to appear on the certificate that afternoon. And we did the whole thing, said, okay, we'll see you at 12 o'clock. And they came back around 2:15 to tell me that I didn't qualify for the citizenship because of my lack of moral aptitude.
Right, you can't prove good moral character if you have an aggravated felony after November 17th, 1990.
That is correct. But also, after I got deported and I looked at the dates, they already knew that I was going to be deported before they did that.
Right.
That was on a Thursday, and they knew I was going to be deported that Monday.
It was a show for the press.
That is correct.
So you got deported on what day?
March 23rd, 2018.
What is the status with your marriage and your relationship right now?
I was already divorced from my son's mother. That was final in 2006, 2005. That's my daughter's mother. With my son's mother, we had ended the relationship when I went to prison. But I'm still very active as much as I can with my son and my daughter.
And your parents are still in the United States as well?
That is correct. My sisters, everyone.
Tell me what it felt like. I guess they took you on a plane to Texas and then drove you across the border. Is that generally what they do? Is that what they did with you?
Well, what they did was, when I found out that they were deporting me that morning, that I was going straight to Mexico, that I wasn't going to Louisiana. They broke protocol. The protocol was for me to go to Louisiana and stay there for 2 weeks. And they were supposed to call my family so they can bring me clothes, money, and they didn't do anything. That morning, I found out that I was going to be in Matamoros that evening. So I started refusing. So they pretty much the whole way, I was put on the bus. Then from the bus, we drove to Indiana. They put me on a plane, and we flew to Kentucky, to St. Louis. We flew different places to drop off people and pick up people. When we finally got to Brownsville, Texas, one of the ICE agents ran up to the plane and said, "Where's Miguel Perez?" I said, "Here I am." He said, "Okay." He's like, "Are you the veteran?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Good, you're coming with me." And then he told the other agents on the plane, he said, "It's a high profile case. something's going on. He's coming with me. So they put me on a bus just by myself, and then they brought somebody else. And the other guy they brought in told me, it's like, hey, we're going back to a detention center. I guess something happened with us, that they're taking us back to the detention center. We're not getting deported today. So in my mind, I figured that maybe with Tammy Duckworth or somebody back home had called and stopped my deportation. So they made it seem like I was going back to a detention center. When we get there, they take the handcuffs off me, they take everything, and they give me this bag. It's like a potato sack with my paperwork.
Right.
And the guy tells me, he's like, hey, what happened? Why didn't you become a citizen when you were in the military? I said, because it was never an issue.
Nobody even told me to do it. I'm busy going out on night raids. You know, is that the last thing, becoming a citizen? That didn't even enter your mind.
That is correct. And that's what I told him. I was like, it was not an issue. And he's like, well, it was an issue for me. He said, I wasn't born in this piece of crap country. He's like, I'm from, he said some country, I don't know, Central America somewhere. And he's like, and the reason I came here, and the reason I joined the military was to get my citizenship. And I told him the difference between you and me was because you joined to get your citizenship. I joined for the love of the country, the love of my community.
Right.
And he's like, well, we need to fix this. He's like, come on. We start walking and we start making small talk. He opens a door in between what's the gate. And when he opens the door, he's like, right this way. And when I pass through, he closes the door behind me. And when I look back,
you're in Mexico.
Door in the middle. Yes, it's a gate.
He literally just walked you into Mexico and said goodbye with your potato sack.
Yes, and
thank you very much for serving in the U.S. military.
He said, "We're done here. There's nothing more for you to do here." He said, "You see those green lights over there? Those arrows? That's Mexico. Go ask them for help."
So what'd you do? You literally just walked down a dirt road and then did what?
It's a bridge. It's a bridge where there's cars on one side and people are walking on that side. I just got the shoes with no shoelaces. I have a jogging pants and a white T-shirt.
Money?
No money. When I turned around, it's an unexplainable feeling. My first reaction was that I needed to get off the bridge head first. The bridge, there's rocks. There's
right, and just end your life.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. But the thing was that it's fenced in. The bridge is fenced in, so there's absolutely no way for me to jump over the bridge. And so when I saw that it was fenced in, I kind of had a few minutes to just breathe in and out. I started slowly walking, and I just couldn't believe what was happening. I just couldn't.
Where did you walk to?
I walked across the bridge, and I was met by Mexican immigration.
And what did they do for you?
Pretty much nothing. I went into an office, and they took a picture, and they gave me a paper. That was pretty much it.
And then they let you out of the office with your potato sack, your shoes without shoelaces, no money. Best of luck, adios.
That is correct. When I came out, they did offer us phone calls, a couple of free phone calls, and that's when I called. When I called my mother, and she was hysterical, and she told me to call Pastor Emma. She's like, just call Pastor Emma. I was like, I don't know what to do, so I called Pastor.
So Pastor Emma, we do have you on. Thank you very much. You got the call from Miguel. You were like the first person after Mom. What did you think, and what did you do for him?
It entered a lot of anxiety in me too, because I was afraid for him where they left him off, because I know that part of the country is extremely dangerous, and for him we thought that was the last place they should ship him. They took him without telling his attorney, without calling his family. The normal procedure is they give you a few days, maybe even a week, to get your things together, get some money so that when you arrive to your destination, you can get a hotel until family members or somebody could come to the rescue. One of us would have done it. But none of that happened. So we knew he was deported. We had no idea where he was for the longest time. We were frightened. We thought maybe something had already happened to them. There was no communication. So when I got the call from him, I was happy, because I finally got the call from him.
Can I ask you a question? Tell me about your relationship with Miguel prior to his deportation. How did you meet him, and how did you meet the family, and how did you become the spokeswoman for this family?
I had met some of the deported veterans when I had went to rescue another family, Elvira Arellano, who was making her attempt to cross the border again. And when I was there, I met Hector Barajas and other members, Hector Lopez and other members of the deported veterans that were living out there. And I approached them because I seen these veterans in these tattered old uniforms, and they were there. And I said, "What are you doing here? What's this about?" And they told me that they had been deported, and they explained me the cases. And I promised them that I would commit time and energy and work towards bringing them back home. So we started to do that work in the state of Illinois and Chicago, and we got some resolutions passed. But every time I approached a senator or a congressman, they said, "But where's your Illinois veteran?" So we prayed for him in our church that we could have someone that we could defend from here. And then one day on a Sunday, his parents walked into the church. And we had already in our church, the Segura family, that's the parents of Ashley, and we had made the Ashley Project as well. She died in the war in Kuwait, and her father's being deported. So we had already a case, and I'm sorry because I'm a little emotional from the testimony, but so we've been looking for him. So God gave him to us, and we said we have to defend him, and we are going to be relentless, and we're going to continue until we bring him home and all of them home, because it's an embarrassment to this country what they've done to our veterans. You can't ask somebody to give their life for this country and throw them away as if they're disposable. They're not. These are U.S. citizens more than some of us, because some of us would not do that for this country.
I agree with you 100%. I want to get to what, the politicians are doing for Miguel, if anything, at this moment. But before we get to that, let's finish up his story. He calls you from Mexican immigration with his potato sack, shoes without shoelaces, no money, no cell phone, nothing. What was the first thing you do to help this man?
Well, when he was missing, I had already asked some people that we knew if they could intervene, because it's not like I can fly out, like the middle of the night. What do I know about Matamoros? I probably put him more in jeopardy running around with me and other people. It's not like we would be there. We're definitely from the U.S. So they agreed. They said, "Let me know where he is, and we'll make sure we get down there, etc." So that's what happened. As soon as I got the call, I called them, and they were able to get him a taxi, and they told him to come out. It was difficult, and it was a tremendous amount of anxiety. It took hours, and it was the middle of the night, and the center where he was closing. So we were telling him, "Don't leave," but at the same time, the people there wanted to leave. I pleaded to them, "Please let him stay there until we can get him the taxi." The taxi arrived but left because they said the area was too dangerous. Then we got another one that came straight from the hotel that we secured for him, and he did this time take him. So once he was in the taxi, he got to the hotel, and then he called us right away. Then and only then were we at peace.
You had to pay the hotel, you had to pay for the taxi.
Absolutely.
And how long did he stay in the hotel?
He stood there days, and then we were able to get over there. We moved him from Matamoros to Tijuana because it was a safer environment. So we had the people go to him, and we had some people we knew in Mexico to also provide some kind of protection.
You did more for him than the U.S. government and the VA combined.
The U.S. government left him penniless, without medication, after he had finally received the medical cocktail that he needed in order to survive and be able to be a human being again. They took that from him as well. They left him penniless, and they left him a target, as far as I'm concerned. Their quote, "We leave no man behind." No, in this particular case, they threw him in danger.
And it's certainly not making America great again.
No, it's not. And to leave him out there alone, and that a veteran that gave his life for this country should have given the limited protection that he deserves, and the medicine, etc. I understand that there's laws, but they are broken. Our state senator, Tammy Duckworth, tried to intervene. They paid her no attention.
Tammy Duckworth needs to start a private bill to have him return to the United States.
We have that private bill, but the problem is under the new administration, it's not like it was before. you have to get an okay letter from either Senator Grassley or Senator, I can't remember his other name, but
What are the Republicans who are in charge?
yeah, definitely. And this is very difficult, and we haven't been able to do that yet. I've had meetings with one of them who just outright refused, but we're still trying to pressure them in order to understand we're talking about a veterans issue.
What about
an immigration
what
issue.
about going back to the state court judge who found him guilty and requesting a vacater?
We did go to the state judge, and he said he had no idea that he was a veteran. If he had known, he would have definitely.
How it would work is you would go to both the district attorney and say, hey, look at this case, join me in going to the judge, okay, and say what happened here is wrong, you can make a difference.
We're in that process right now, and I don't know if states are different in each state how they deal with issues. I know in Illinois, I think we're a lot more backward than New York and California, but we're trying to do that now. We've contacted a new attorney who is talking to the judge and asking him for a letter, and then we're going to continue to try what Hector Barajas did and get a pardon at the state level.
The problem with a pardon is pardons don't forgive sales of drugs because you would still be possibly considered a past drug trafficker even though you don't have a conviction. So really, the thing that I would suggest that you do would be, even if the judge won't vacate it, and this is what we do a lot in New York, is we ask to mediate the conviction based on these extenuating circumstances. Let's replead him to something that's not an aggravated felony. Maybe instead of vacating the conviction completely, let's plead him to some sort of a lesser crime, some sort of misdemeanor, time served that is not an aggravated felony, so then he can go back to the U.S. military like Hector Barajas did and apply for his citizenship because he would then have his good moral character.
Well, those are very good suggestions, and we'll follow up on them. My understanding is that after there's a time limitation in which we had to do these things, and those we've surpassed all of that. So we are looking into it in every aspect that we can. Of course, what I've learned today and what they do in New York, I'm trying to go to the legislature in the state of Illinois and get some changes so that we can at least catch up to New York and California on how they deal with these issues, because in Illinois, like I said, we're somewhat backwards, even though Obama was from Illinois, elected officials that have shown a lot of promise like Congressman Gutierrez and Tammy Duckworth, but we're like light years behind in this other issues that you have mentioned today. And we have looked into some of them, and we've just been hitting one closed door after another. And we're still fighting, and I have much faith. And I want to say I can promise you today that if there's a way, we're going to find it. And we're going to bring Miguel back, and Miguel's going to open the door for the rest of them, because what's done to them is so unfair. I've talked to them. No one is out there trying to defend or at least advocate for them. The ACLU is out there somewhat in some cases, but we're dealing with a community that has severe PTSD. They feel abandoned, and you have to actually seek them out and help them, because at any given moment, they're suicidal. We're talking about 40% of our veterans come home and they're homeless. And these are not just the ones that are green card veterans. These are others, and they could get a lot of programs. They don't seek them because they are already sick and scarred from the war that they went to defend us. And we need to seek them out, and we need to help them find the medication, the therapy, and give them the honorable service that they so deserve. And I don't know why this country is so absent, and they have no mercy for these guys, and they still are sending us out there. They're sending more and more of our young people out there. My nephew suffers from PTSD. I have family members that have served that have PTSD, and I don't see any of them getting well.
Thank you, and I agree with you 100%. What you say is accurate, is reasonable, and it's really very difficult for me to grasp in my head how whether any politician or a human being can say what happened to Miguel is fair and we're not going to do anything to reverse it.
One veteran every hour commits suicide. Now, why is that? because we are not giving
Because
them
we're not helping them when they come back from an act of war. We're not giving them the mental and psychological services that they require to integrate back into the United States of America.
And most of them, and a lot of them, and because there's such a small population that actually enters to serve the country, but they're the largest population for their numbers that are serving in the penitentiaries of this country. Why? Because they're not serviced and they're self-medicating with alcohol and drugs like Miguel did.
It's an absolute disgrace. Does not serve what's happening here as a proper description.
And they cannot call you a criminal if they have not given you the service and the medical treatment when you return.
That is correct.
They cannot call them criminals. The criminals are the ones that haven't taken this up. And I'm fighting with them to at least admit that, because once they admit that, because I'm into big confession, I'm a pastor. Once you admit it, look at Miguel. Miguel has admitted everything that he's done. And I think that these are not even crimes but it's because of his service to this country that put him in the condition he's in today.
He may not have even had the mental capacity to even know what he was doing at that point in time.
Absolutely.
And that's a reason to go back to the state court judge and not just get a letter, but a full motion. But that's a discussion. That's a discussion for another day. I want to get.
But he never deserted. He never deserted.
Correct.
But his country deserted him.
That is
correct.
And
he fought for this country, and now he has to fight his country to come back home.
I agree.
And it's unfair.
I agree with you 100%. He didn't desert his country, but his country deserted him. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right.
They literally opened the door and said, "Get the hell out." And here's your potato sack. Miguel, you've now been in Mexico for about 8 or 9 weeks. Tell us how you're getting along there. What's going on? What are you doing? How are you surviving?
I'm surviving because of all the help from back home with my parents, Pastor Emma, and other veterans here, and not only the deported veterans, but mostly veterans from the United States that come down here to help out their brothers, and some of them have U.S. citizen veterans just moved down here to try to help out. But other than that, it's been very difficult, especially with my medicine. When I ran out of medicine, I went through the withdrawal symptoms of
and you're getting your medication mailed to you from the States?
Right now, yes. My Pastor Emma coordinated when she came down here. She brought me a couple of months worth of medicine, and the rest of them are being mailed.
And how has your mental state been in terms of drug and alcohol dependency? It's easy to get in Mexico. You're no longer in jail. How are you handling, and hopefully you're handling, staying off of drugs and staying away from the tequila and the vodka and whatever else is down there?
It's very easy for me to stay away from it because of my faith in God. My faith in God, it's been wonderful that I'm able to walk around some places and there's the abundance of alcohol and drugs, and it doesn't pull my interest at all. And it's largely because of that, and also that I know the consequences. And is the thing that got me into this mess in the first place. Not only that, but the combination of medication that I take covers all the urges and anything else that I was doing while I was self-medicating. So there's no need for that anymore.
And have you spoken to your children? I assume you have.
Yes, I just got off the phone.
How are they handling it?
Not good. My son's been expecting me for the past few years, and my daughter, I got off the phone this morning with her, and she was crying every time we talk. She cries. And she's turning 21. This is bad. It's really sad. My mother, I speak to my mother one day yes, one day no, and she's in depression. She's going into a deep depression. My father also, he hasn't been the same since it's not the same. And we weren't expecting this at all. I've never thought that they would deport U.S. veterans. When I first found out, I was like, no, they don't. And then I found out that there was a community in in Tijuana, but I thought it was maybe one or two, and I thought it was special circumstances, and come to find out that it's many,
Yeah.
and we are dying down here. Just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a combat Marine just passed away for not getting the
medication,
medical attention
after he was deported.
Yes.
It's literally, after you come back from combat, they literally leave you to die.
That is correct. And I find out it's many more that have died for not getting. You can't get medical assistance here. You can't. If you go to the general hospital, it's gonna take forever to be seen. By that time, you're pretty much dead. And then there's also private hospitals, but you have to have a large amount of money, which we don't.
Miguel and Pastor Emma, how can people reach out to you to help? I know there's lots of people watching right now that want to help in all different capacities, whether it's volunteer or provide support monetarily or goods and services. How can somebody reach out and make a difference here?
Well, first and foremost, I think everyone has to reach out to their senators and congressmen and tell them that this is a problem. We have a petition. We should ask people to come on our website so that they can get on it. We have a Facebook page as well, that there's a PayPal where you can donate some money. Well, right now we're trying to raise enough money to send Miguel's parents to go see him. His daughter, his son, that's who needs to see him. Today, Celia Garcia from our church is flying out there and she's going to see him. Miguel's attorney and 2 other legal aides are going out there to see him. And some of them, I'm trying to see if I can find somebody every month to go out and see the deported veterans, because they need that attention. They need to understand that we're still fighting for them. We can't talk to them every day, but we're fighting for them every day, and we think and we pray for them every day. But call your senator and your congressman. Tell them that this is happening. Some of them have went out to visit the bunker out there in Tijuana, but there's actually 2 locations that they can visit, and they should visit them both. And we need to find a way to give these soldiers the medical attention they need. It is very, very difficult for them out there. They're abandoned, and we need to figure out how to bring them back. And my dream is that Miguel will lead them with the American flag, and they'll come to the border and they'll force the issue, and we'll be there waiting for them, and we'll say, bring them home.
I agree. Bring them home. I agree. You serve in active war in the military. You put your life on the line. You don't deserve what Miguel got. He did something wrong, which many people would say. He did his time like anybody else, and he should get to live in America. Miguel,
that's correct.
We will follow up with you. We'll put in our help that we can. Pastor Emma, thank you again. We will certainly be in touch, and hopefully one day we will see you back, not in the near distant future, but in the short term, we'll see you back in America. Miguel, good luck to you.
We'll celebrate them together, Brad. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Bye, Miguel.
Bye-bye, Pastor Emma.
All right, so we're gonna follow up with Pastor Lezama and Miguel. I think very shortly. We did play this about 6 months ago, but I thought it was really important to play during Veterans Day. And since we missed Friday's show, we're giving you extra time today.
That's right.
While we were on the air for the last 2.5 hours, in politics, U.S. Representative Kristen Sinema, she's a Democrat from Arizona. She has now officially won the Senate seat given up by Jeff Flake, who is a constant Republican critic of Donald Trump. And it is the first time I know in many, many, many years that a Democratic senator has been elected in the state of Arizona. She won on the count of the mail-in ballots. The Republican opponent, who is also a female, has conceded in Arizona. It still doesn't make the Senate Republican, but it does flip a seat in Arizona to the Democrats. John McCain's seat is up in 2020. It's being filled right now temporarily by a Republican. As you know, John McCain was the Vietnam War veteran that Donald Trump famously said, and we talked about this earlier in the show, famously said, I like my war heroes not to be captured. He died over the summer of brain cancer. His seat is being temporarily filled, but the Democrats are hopeful now for 2020 for another Democratic seat in the Senate. Hopefully in 2020, they've already flipped the House, and hopefully in 2020, they flipped the Senate as well. So congratulations, Kristen Sinema. Also the first woman, because we always talk about this, first woman ever elected to the Senate from the great state of Arizona. It's always a great state when it's Democratic.
When it's a Democratic state.
All right. So, I don't know. I mean, Lisa Bling Rose says I went home. I didn't go home. Right? Denisha's fallen asleep. She says, I can't believe this is 3 hours. I'm reading all the comments. We should go another hour. I don't know. Now, comments of the day. Let's go comments of the day.
You just stole the first comment of the day,
All right, well,
Brad.
let's say it anyway.
Lisa Bling Rose said, the show is live now. I think Uncle Brad went home, and we are watching a rerun.
No, we were not. We've been here the whole entire time.
Yeah, we didn't
We're
move.
watching.
We didn't move.
We are watching, right?
We see your comments.
That's right.
That's right.
What else?
We've got Wilfredo, who said, God bless us, America, and all who are suffering because of this deportation situation, and to all our vets that aren't home. I love you guys with tears from my heart for what you guys are going through.
Yep, I agree.
Totally agree,
Amen.
Wilfredo. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, has a novel idea. Brad, you should be the president. You got knowledge and understanding of every individual on the face of the earth, and you would absolutely help each and every one, guaranteed 100%.
I agree. I just don't want to run.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just the whole idea of politics.
I'd like to say that as a person who has sat beside you, I also don't want you to run.
I don't want to do it.
They'll just comb through all these shows.
That's
Could you
right.
imagine what?
I'll forget it.
What the opponent's ads are going to look like?
Forget it.
Can you smell what the Brad is cooking?
Yeah, I mean, forget it. I've already lost just by doing this show. I can't become president.
We're a little crazy.
That's right.
But that'd be a fun president. You'd be a really fun president.
I would be a fun
Fred.
president, but if I wanted to be president, I would never have done the show.
That's a fact.
That is true. But it's what I believe, so it is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, everybody. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.